Are we live?
Yeah.
I just saw the thumb.
Oh, no.
I wish you could hear how much they laughed.
Oh my God.
It's going to trigger some people. Listen, welcome to the Nerdrotic Nooner, everybody. It's hump day.
Yeah.
Lot going on in Hollywood. The Cannes Film Festival is still going on for another week, by the way. That thing goes that thing goes on for a long time. A lot of stuff coming out from that. Warner Brothers just had a very unfortunate thing happen to the third largest movie studio in Hollywood. And then Candace Owens. I'm gonna have a hard time with this, man. Candace Owens does an interview with Harvey Weinstein
From jail, and he got to wear a suit, which was lucky because normally it's just T-shirt and pajama bottoms.
Now you can do this now. This is so inconceivable to me from back in the day, but I subscribe to After Prison Show, right, for obvious reasons. I think the guy's pretty funny, but he does interviews, like rando interviews, like people he doesn't know from visiting. And yes, you can. One of the interviews, I have to tell this story. One of the interviews, the guy's talking, everything's blurred out around the guy, but he's clearly next to the urinals, and you see like throughout the interview, people are going to take a piss.
Oh my God.
God damn.
Oh man.
No, but it's fascinating that you're allowed internet access in prison. That just seems like the worst idea imaginable to me. Except for anybody in prison watching the show right now, thanks. Stay down. Stay down, brother. But Jesus. So yeah, Candace Owens. Dude, I had a chat with Mahler, Chris, at the beginning of the year, and he's like, well, that was quite a wild year. Looks like a cultural turn of the tide. What do you think? And Mahler's thesis on film and TV was pretty spot on. He said, it's going to be the year of meh. And I'm like, yeah, the year of meh and total chaos. This is going to be a very strange year. Certainly started out that way. We all remember January, the year of January. But now what is up with this timeline? Candace Owens interviewing Harvey Weinstein sympathetically. And I wasn't there. All I know is there's been rumors swirling around this dude forever. Jokes made about him in public, open secret. So, but it gets into what they talk about. Listen, we'll find out if we ever find out the truth.
Are we gonna EFAP the video? It's only 20 minutes.
Some of it, yeah. I think if we speed it up, like put it at 1.5 speed, but
one of the things, it's weird. It's only 20 minutes. Did it feel like a part one to you?
Yeah, there's going to be more because she specifically asks a question right at the end,
and then it cuts off.
And like the question is like, what's your day to day? Well, I'll fucking break down what Harvey's day to day is.
It's not good.
It's not good. Especially, I'm guessing he's in some kind of protective custody. That would be my guess.
There's a good movie to be made from, say, a guy like Harvey Weinstein, who's in prison, who used to be big in Hollywood, who develops movies to produce in prison, and he makes them with people in prison, and they make a movie with their phone.
Shakespeare in Love.
And it makes it
in prison.
People who've seen it, people who've seen the movie the prison movie produced by Harvey.
Well, they did that. The Rikers Island. Didn't it get what got nominated for Best Picture? Do we even remember?
Yes, it was with Coleman Domingo, and I saw it.
And it was about them like doing plays or something, right?
Yeah, it's actually based on a real.
So do this with Harvey Weinstein, and he remakes all the movies he produced in prison.
It's called Sing Sing. The movie's pretty good. It uses like real prisoners mixed with actors. I thought it was a documentary when I was watching it. I'm like, this is very realistic. Anyways, yeah, it's Sing Sing. It's a good movie.
But do it with Harvey Weinstein.
Yes, I feel like that's a
Shawshank
good,
in Love.
it's a pitch that no one will make that movie. No one will make it. Oh my God.
It could be
Oh my-
a real
There's
Shakespeare
so
play
many
because all the
jokes.
men, it's just all men acting as both the men and the women.
Well, it'll be very
Yes.
Shakespearean, you know?
Yeah,
It would be.
yeah.
It would be.
That's crazy.
Shakespearean.
Oh my God.
Brokeback Mountain. I'm seeing it right now.
That movie's, by the way, getting a re-release, which ties directly into explaining the popularity of a certain actor. I don't know if we want to show that, Gary.
What? Oh, Pedro?
Dude, okay.
Yeah,
White
we'll
Paper?
show it. We'll talk about, we'll show Pedro.
I have
Absolutely.
thoughts on that.
Oh, I do too. And Gina Carano's tweet around the same time that came out was great. It was freaking great. It, like I said, it's been a crazy freaking week for Hollywood from Cannes. Dude, Eddington. I told you I have that fucking movie circle. It's in July, so it's in the middle of Superman, Fantastic Four, freaking Star Trek: Strange New Worlds is coming out. That's Jurassic Final Reckoning, Devil Dinosaur, whatever the hell it is. Eddington comes out in July. Little art house film from the dude who did Beau is Afraid, everybody's favorite movie from a couple years ago, starring Joaquin Phoenix and Pedro Pascal. And it is a COVID era movie. So it takes place in a small town, middle America, in 2020, in May of 2020, when lockdowns and everything was starting. And we have a sheriff running against a mayor to be mayor over COVID restrictions. And it starts going down the whole misinformation route. And basically, it's a satirical swipe at MAGA, right? Instead of maybe taking like, you could take your satirical swipes at MAGA if you take the satirical swipes at the other side, which I'm guessing they don't do. But even this movie divided Cannes Film Festival.
Yeah.
But it looks
really?
cringe as fuck. I've read a couple reviews on it already, and I'm just like, circled, boop. Because you know what? I'm very curious to see what Hollywood's take is on the COVID era from 5 years ago, the one they supported.
Right.
Completely supported.
Yeah.
And it appears they still do. So we just had a Doctor Who episode that was basically a COVID episode. And
awesome.
And yeah. Like really took the state is your friend.
Well, why are there not hearings about what we did wrong? What did we get wrong? We know that the 6 feet distance was a guess and we made it up. We know things about masks. I still see certain people in my sphere of going to screenings that are wearing a mask. I never see them not in a mask. In LA, you'll see people in a mask. I do think, I'm going to be blunt here, a lot of trans women wear a mask as a way to maybe convince you.
I've noticed that as well, but it's very anecdotally. It's in the comic shops I go to.
Oh, really?
Seems to be a high percentage of transmissions working in comic shops these days. And they all have masks on still.
They always wear a mask.
All do. Every single one of them. Now, that's like 4 people, so it's anecdotal. But
well, I see a lot
strange.
more. And I see a lot more.
Listen,
in LA,
I am for it. So
yeah, well,
Wow.
I hey, if you're an
keep that
adult,
mask on.
if you're an adult and you want to present yourself, however, just do it. I don't give a shit.
No shame to your game. Let's go.
Yeah, I don't care. Be the best you possible.
Be the best you possible.
Yeah.
So, how you been, Chris?
Doing great, man.
Doing great?
I've seen some movies. I saw Lilo and Stitch with Alan.
How was Lilo and Stitch? Give me the Cliff Notes, broad,
Cliff Notes.
spoiler free.
You can see Lilo and Stitch right now. It's called Lilo and Stitch. It's animated. And
Which one is
it's
better?
the animated is better. They
Oh.
made some changes.
Have you seen? Sorry, Kristen.
Yeah.
X-Ray Girl. Have
Yeah.
you seen the animated Lilo and Stitch?
Yes, a billion times. I have a huge Stitch doll on my bed right now.
Okay.
That's a Disney movie I can say I have seen and I enjoyed a lot. Walked out of the theater very happy. My kids everybody loved it. So.
Yeah, look, my daughter was young when she saw it. It's one of her favorites. She loves Stitch. They basically, quick take, they got it right. They understood the assignment.
Okay.
Make a live action, put in the things people love. They added new characters they kind of didn't need to fulfill roles, and they changed things, I think, based on budget, oddly, but they got Stitch is like ripped from the animation. And I didn't love it as much. Alan loved it. I'm like, it was
Alan's
fine.
a bit of a softie. He liked.
He was there with his daughter, and they both were gushing over it.
We love Alan, by the way.
Yes, he was hanging out with him last night. It was fun.
Big softie though.
Except
on Twitter.
What it reminds me of, he's badass on Twitter.
Yeah.
But what it reminds me of is old Disney movies I saw as a kid. They were live action, that there's sort of wacky events, and there's the bad guys, but they're kind of charming. And Zach Galifianakis is in it, and I barely recognized him. He's a weird version of him, and he was not that good. He's not that funny compared to whatever the other guy's name is.
Is he sober?
Seems like it.
Yeah. Well, I'd rather him be sober.
But look, it's going to make a lot of money. The one thing is the young girl that plays Lilo, Maya Kealoha, is perfect. She is 6 years old. She acts like a 6-year-old. She's not a bad actress. She is basically being a 6-year-old in a movie with a dog that's an alien, right? Billy Magnuson plays this character Pleaky. He's good. He's good. So here's my whole thing. Lilo and Stitch stands in contrast to another recent live action, Snow White, that put in politics and wokeness and girl boss, and zero of that is in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Zero. It is faithful to the animation and the characters and the world, and even the beginning with the aliens, and he's kind of a weapon and can't be killed, and only weakness is water, so he goes to an island where there's water, it's beautiful setting. Like, this movie may outgrow Mission Impossible this weekend.
Oh, I think it will.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I think it will.
It's shorter, hour 48.
Yeah.
Mission Impossible is 2 hours 50 minutes.
Woo!
So
that's a long one.
But look, families, there'll be a lot of walk-up business, just people going to see it. The matinee shows are going to sell out. They'll be packed. So yeah, like, it was like, oh, really not for me, but I reckon, like, it's that this is Disney writing the ship? No, they should ask themselves why they allowed Snow White to get to where it was. That horrible script, that terrible actress. You notice there's no controversy around Lilo and Stitch? Zero. No political
there was
things.
because little bit, because the little girl wasn't like the exact right nationality, and I agree with him. No.
No, I feel like, stop listening to idiots that think that way. Stop listening to them.
We've always said this. You don't have to listen to us, which they don't, but don't listen to them. Really don't listen to them, because they have been listening to them, for a long time. And now, even in a year where they're like, this is going to be a box office success. Minecraft, box office success.
Yeah.
And there's been nothing else. Like, it is 2 drops in the ocean. And they have a massive problem, because I was talking about this yesterday, Chris. Everything is in July. Even F1, which I want to see. Is it implausible as a 61-year-old F drive? I mean, I guess it could happen. The F1 fans would have to tell me I'm very casual on the F1. I think it's rad, but I'm very casual on the F1, but I'm pretty sure they're athletes, like at the top of their game in there. And 61, you know, even if it's a Brad Pitt 61, it's going to be a little tough. It's gonna be, but I'm excited for F1. It comes out at the very end of June. So we got F1, we got Jurassic Park, we got Superman and Fantastic Four. And then it's like what's the big movie in August? Nobody 2? Like you couldn't. What's coming out in June before F1? What's coming out in June? So I think they're probably afraid of Lilo and Stitch, and they just wanted to get as far away from it as possible. So Lilo and Stitch is just gonna rule June, and it's gonna just rake in money. But there'll be nothing else after July.
And will there be a superhero movie north of $1 billion?
I don't think so. Could be wrong.
Only one that has a shot, I think, is Superman. It has a shot. It has a shot if it's amazing. So I do know the second test screening, they made changes. So that's what I'm told.
Yeah, they're tinkering around. I just need to know, and I know you don't know specifics, but did they get rid of the monkeys? That would be a change I would make.
From what I'm told, it's actually very funny in the movie. It's played and it's funny. So
okay, great. I hope so. I hope it's fucking awesome, dude. I hope it's awesome. I heard I was watching because I watched Versus. I heard Rob make an example, and he was spot on with this one. And I hate this. So I hope it's at least a commentary. He said, well, you know, the reason they're bringing in basically the Justice League International, which they're calling the Justice Gang with Max Lord, is to kind of have a boys thing. When I heard him invoke that, I'm like, no, don't invoke the boys in Superman. Do not in any way invoke that fucking terrible TV show. Comic is 1,000 times better, by the way, in that show. So, you know, like I was thinking the same thing. And I mean, the plot leaks that are out there, it does sound very reverse Kingdom Come. If you've read Kingdom Come, it's basically superheroes running amok, and daddy has to come in and clean everything up. That's pretty much what it is. Mom and dad and uncles and everybody have to come in and clean everything up. So maybe it's kind of a reverse version of that, which may work. I don't know. I hope it's great. But the last trailer was better, not great. We picked it apart. Yeah. As we nerds tend to do. And I think Perry, we can't show it again, but we have shown it. Perry did in spirit, a great version that he just whooped up. He just whooped up a thing and outdid the trailer as far as quality, in my opinion, than people who spent months on it, and marketing teams that poured over it. Teams of people signed off on that, you know. James Gunn signed off on it.
But maybe a good thing, we really don't know, at least if you don't read Reddit, you don't know what the story of Superman is. We don't know the story yet. I do know, I don't know if I should say this.
I'm guessing we haven't seen a lot of the movie in the trailer. That's what I'm guessing.
That is correct.
And I'm also guessing that James Gunn probably specifically didn't want to tell if we get a great movie and it's like, oh, it was a shitty trailer because it didn't want to tell us anything, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, that's good.
That's good.
Look, I'll take a look, because the trailers for so many movies look amazing and never live up to the trailer, what your anticipation was.
Yeah.
Right.
28 years later.
We'll see how that, oh my God, that's in June.
That's in June. But
coming up so soon.
Do I think it's going to be, it might be, I don't know. I'm going to go see it. I'm going to go see it.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the real quick, the company that is distributing Superman.
Yes.
Superman's James Gunn. Warner Brothers, if you can find the article, X-Ray Girl. I tweeted about it. I don't know if I'm hoping it got put into, I'm pretty sure it got put into research. Warner Brothers, which has as of today, as of time of recording, March 21st, 11:27 a.m. Central Time, Warner Brothers has the biggest movie of the year, Minecraft, which is approaching $1 billion. It's crawling there. although it's out on VOD, but it's at 929 million. Did you find it, X-Ray Girl? Okay. Pop it up,
F1
please.
tickets just went on sale. IMAX. Sorry to interrupt you there, Gary.
No, I'm going to buy them after the show. Yeah, I got to see that in IMAX. That trailer looks dope. And that's the guy who directed Top Gun Maverick.
They're showing it early on June 23rd.
Are they?
Open June 27th. So IMAX on June 23rd on sale now.
Hang on.
FYI.
IMAX F1. Oh, shut up. Why is somebody yelling me? F1 tickets. Okay. So Warner Brothers Discovery credit rating cut to junk bond status in linear TV decline. The ratings firm marked WBD down to BB plus on overall cable TV weakness as the Hollywood studio pivots to streaming space. What we got here is Warner Brothers Discovery has been downgraded to BB plus or junk bond. We just heard that for 2025 and 2026 by S&P Global over linear TV weakness as the Hollywood studio continues to pivot to the streaming space. The ratings firm continued to its outlook for WBD as stable, but pointed to weak credit metrics overall to explain its bond rating markdown to speculative grade. We lowered our 2025 and 2026 forecast due to the continued challenges in WB's linear TV networks segment, which we forecast will offset growth as its studio and streaming segments, S&P Global said in a statement. Now, CBS back in the broadcast days kind of ruled, Chris. It kind of ruled everything. Is Chris buying tickets right now on the show?
I'm buying. They're sold out oh my God. Anyways, I'm getting these. Wait. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, Gary.
X-Ray Girl.
I'm listening.
I don't see anything.
Oh, well.
It's called Fan First, Monday, June 23rd.
Why don't they do anything fun like this in Canada? It's like,
throw me the link in the private chat, Chris.
it's so unfair. You guys get all the good stuff.
The link for what?
The Fan First IMAX tickets.
No, you just got to go on whatever. Do you have AMC, A-List, or whatever?
Let's see.
I'm gonna try and check for mine.
Read the article.
Derailing the show.
You totally derailed the show.
This is a Chris special, guys.
Yeah.
Yes, well, I always do that.
F1 the movie. Oh yeah, see, it's just coming soon on our end. There's no advance tickets. Monday, June 23rd.
Correct.
Yep.
Oh,
show me the link. Drop the link in the private chat.
Okay. I'm trying to
WB, like its industry rivals, has been under pressure from Wall Street amid industry-wide challenges, including advertising softness and cord cutting, as investors look for a return on an expensive transition from legacy linear TV networks to the digital streaming world. The possibility of WBD doing major split of the company, with WB Studios being potentially paired with a rebranded HBO Max and the Discovery linear cable channels being spun off into a separate company, hasn't exactly cheered the ratings firm. S&P Global has not factored into the ratings downgrade any potential split of the company because one hasn't been formally announced. But the ratings firm added a separation would likely pressure ratings because it would weaken our view on the individual business, particularly the global linear networks company, due to ongoing secular pressure on the linear television ecosystem. So before we get in all the boring financial analytics,
Gary, I was going to say, you are going to be traveling at that point.
To where?
Possibly Greensboro.
Oh.
So you'd have to make it home in time from then.
Yeah, it opens that ways, Gary.
Letting you know.
Okay. Do I have it? Can I even get to it? No, it's gone.
No. That sucks.
Using the seat. Let's see.
Sorry, chat.
Yeah, I'm to blame here.
All right.
So
Well, we can't
just-
have both of us looking for tickets, so I'll wait. All right. But Chris gets things early. I don't.
Damn, Chris.
No, I just got the email announcing it. That's it. I'm on the IMAX list. I'm not special. I subscribe to a lot of email lists to keep informed.
Yeah, it's not showing it for me at all.
Boo.
You'll be able to get them if you can. If not, see it that Thursday. I've seen the first 10 minutes. It's that trailer. I got chills.
It's fun.
So
It's
good.
Yeah, I just want to see it. It's not even much.
Yeah.
I just want to see fast cars.
Okay, so back to this. Warner Brothers is the distributor of the biggest movie of the year so far, Minecraft. It is distributing arguably the most anticipated tentpole movie of the year, Superman. Superman's James Gunn. And because of linear TV and streaming, basically, because of streaming, they have their credit reduced for 2 years. Now, people are like, oh, well, it's stable. Well, their stock has been shit for a long time, And let's just keep in mind that I know there's a lot of people out there who love Zaslav because he canceled Batgirl, which, great, awesome. Zaslav has been, I don't hate the guy, but I'm not going to say he's like some savior of Hollywood or Warner Brothers. I think that just calling balls and strikes right now, I think that's in question. The first thing I would question is why the fuck would you change HBO, a brand that has been around for 50 fucking years, to fucking Max and say because we did. And then the argument, remember, was that HBO was associated with adult content. No, Max was. That's why we called it Skinamax, you fucking moron. So, of course, they changed it back, which is great. But what it shows to the investors out there is this is a company that's not sure of itself. This is a company that's been split off from AT&T and rebranded a couple of times in the last 5 to 6 years. It had to cancel a movie. When they do have a success, they usually fuck it up. Joker 2, Penguin, not getting a season 2 now. Can't even get the Batman 2 script out. They hand the keys of the kingdom to James Gunn and maybe everything does great. Oh, let's not forget HBO is doing a Harry Potter show, which potentially could have been the biggest thing in the world and decided to lead it off by casting a black Snape. This is a dumb fucking company. And Discovery, which used to be a money-making machine for them, right, it's not doing that great. And that's where Zaslav comes from. And it's like, it's programming. I don't mind at all. It's more reality-based programming and it's a lot cheaper to make. And honestly, Clarkson's Farm, the best kind of semi-reality show, is coming out this Friday and they don't have it. And they don't have a lot of the stuff that people are, it's just basic and they're not really breaking any ground. And a lot of it is, okay, we've got all these properties. We're going to turn things around. Okay, they did the War of the Rohirrim. That sucked to maintain Lord of the Rings rights. Okay, great. They're doing the Harry Potter thing, fucking up Lord of the Rings, coming out with The Hunt for Gollum. That's just a horrible fucking idea, by the way. It's just awful. A terrible, terrible idea. And this will be their, I don't know, 8th or 9th or 10th crack at trying to fucking do something with DC, who they've owned forever, and they can't figure out what to do. So, and HBO should be kicking ass. And it was for a little while. It should be kicking ass because it's the oldest streaming service. It's older than Netflix. It's prestige TV. So it's the oldest prestige TV service in America. It pretty much broke the ground on it. And for some reason, again, we can go back to House of the Dragon. It was the head of HBO through budget cuts that made this horrible decision to cut off the last 2 episodes, which killed any momentum for that fucking show. Now it looks like it's delayed and they cut those 2 episodes to save budget and to get the show out faster. And it looks like it's not going to get out faster. They fucked up the second season. Oh, and the show they wanted to kind of placate the audience with Night of the Seven Kingdoms. Now that's fucking delayed. And it's the easiest one to make. What the fuck is going on there? So it's a Hollywood problem. Oh, wow. Yeah. Thanks. It's a Hollywood problem more than a Warner Brothers problem. This is a symptom of a Hollywood problem. When your third largest studio gets its credit cut, that's kind of alarming. And you couple that with Hollywood turning into Detroit. You couple that with basically 40% of the work is gone, is just gone. You know, we go back to your Agnew interview. It doesn't look like it's coming back. It looks like it's breaking up, really.
Yeah. It's the biggest fall the fastest, in my opinion, because you've got so much dead weight, so much liability, and you know, for projects you've got to fund. When you're small and lean like a Lionsgate, you know.
Yep.
Which Lionsgate, part of Warner Brothers, actually.
Well, it was. I think it's gone now.
Yeah, but they're lean. They're a lean company. They've got Ballerina, which I hear is okay. There's an early screening of that on June 4th, too.
I don't care about that.
Yeah, she'll be fine. I like Anna de Armas.
Yeah, I do too. I'll watch it, but I don't care about early screening.
Yeah.
I'll be, maybe I'll be home that day. It's hard to say. A lot of traveling next month. But, and Comic-Con.
Yeah, Comic-Con. Yeah, yeah. We'll see. We'll see.
Have you heard
Comic-Con.
anything?
I have not heard. I've heard nothing about people having panels. I pitched what I think is an awesome panel. So, which is all about public domain indie movies like Popeye the Slayer Man or Bambi the Reckoning. And I've got filmmakers from those movies that will be on my panel, and we'll have critics and filmmakers and talk about the ramifications of public domain IP and these movies, which are made very low budget. They've all made money. Every one of those have made profits because they're all made for cheap, nothing. Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey was made for 60 grand and like went out to make a couple million. I mean, it's stupid. They're dumb. I'm telling you, these are not great movies, but what are the implications for Superman being in the public domain or Batman or bigger
Superman's
IP?
in the public domain in a couple of years, and I already know people who are got their Superman stories ready, locked and loaded.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
Ready to come out. So, I mean, that's the explanation of the Kingdom Come S and the new 52 costume. If you want a logical explanation for that, it is because of the rights issue.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like the rights go all the way down to the curl and all that, like, you know, the IP lawyers. I mean, that is a, man, if you, to be a good IP lawyer, all you have to be is just good at the art of bullshit, because there's no science to it whatsoever. Intellectual property law is murky, is absolutely murky. But there's a point where they lose the rights, and they're going to lose them to Batman. They're going to lose them to Superman. Someday Marvel's going to lose them to Spider-Man. Long way off, but it's going to happen. That's why you have Miles Morales, and that's why you have that's why you have Ben Reilly. So it's an overall indicative of a Hollywood problem that I don't know if they can fix. Again, Jim Agnew brought that up in your interview, and I think he would know better than most, considering he's an independent movie producer. And I love that story he told of like having to give a fake address to the union, right? So the union wouldn't like poach any of his workers or mandate anything.
Well, Karen Bass did a thing where, you only need one person on your set now instead of paying for several. It's kind of
Does she have the power to do that?
I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, she'll get voted back in that retarded town.
Yeah, well,
they'll fucking vote her back in.
People are morons.
They're complete morons. They will absolutely vote her back in. There's already stories of eminent domain might come down on the houses that are on the beach in Malibu.
Oh yeah. That was coming. They're just gonna tear it down.
They're just gonna tear it down, and oh well, that's Hollywood, baby. That's Hollywood, baby. But
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting to see Warner Brothers. Again, Hollywood's like scrambling like right now. They don't quite know what to do because there's a bunch of actors who will go out and producers going out there. Yeah, we need to bring work back to Hollywood. In the meantime, they're saying that in the UK while they're producing a movie, or they're saying that in Atlanta while they're producing a movie, or some other country. So yeah, somebody needs to do something about this, but I'll be doing the thing that's killing my own industry, or, the industry killed itself. Hollywood did this to himself, and California did it to Hollywood, and Hollywood allowed it. Hollywood supported every politician that has helped murder them right now. Just want to remind everybody of that, and they will continue to do so. Nikos for 4 parts for 30 euros. I want to get to this one. Much like Dead Reckoning, this movie has massive retcons, disappointing character deaths, and Fast and Furious physics. It's like a dumb parody. The thing that pisses me off the most is the antagonist AI is. Are we going to get in the spoiler territory here? Hang on. X-Ray Girl.
Well, I mean, they know that the antagonist is an AI from the first movie.
Okay, I just don't want to spoil the whole damn movie the day before it comes
Let me
out.
read the third one while you finish that one.
The thing that pisses me off most is the antagonist AI is relevant in something like Terminator, not in Mission Impossible. It's not relatable, and it's done in the most boring way possible.
See, I didn't watch it, so I don't know if this is just him suggesting this or if this is actually a spoiler.
Okay, so it says, can I give you an idea? What if after the attack in MI6 was foiled, the syndicate blamed the attempt on the U.S. starting World War III with communist China? Yeah, I don't know if he's like relating to because I haven't seen the movie either.
Yeah.
The remnants of this is, put up spoiler tab.
Uh-huh.
Put it
Just
up,
in case, because we don't know
I don't
if this
fucking
is
know, 'cause I
actually
ain't seen the
spoilers.
movie. Thank you though. I understand walking out of a movie and just like, I got to talk about it. The remnants of the syndicate could also do a terror attack on Russia so they could fight Europe. Ethan would hunt the syndicate remnants throughout the battlefield to be exposed the truth and stop World War III. After I watch I will consider that after I watched part 2, which I have not seen. just so you know. Chris, what are your thoughts?
Look, I like Final Reckoning. It does feel like the final movie. It's like it's a better version of the Daniel Craig last James Bond, if that makes sense, without spoiling things.
Okay,
and
it does.
I don't want to yuck your yum, so to speak, but I found parts of it like a greatest hits of Mission Impossible with references going back to the very first Mission Impossible in a very clever way. And they don't make you work for it because they actually show footage. So you're like, oh, I remember that scene. That was an inconsequential person. Like, and so they connect other aspects of the other movies to this movie. So it's a little rough going. The opening is a little rough, the intro, but it really, in my opinion, sticks the landing, with 2 really amazing action set pieces. We're like, I think Tom Cruise is going to die. He is going to be dead. It's just shockingly good stunts. So yeah, the AI is just, I don't know. I think it's timely.
It's going to start feeling very overused, and it's going to be the new boogeyman in Hollywood for the next 10 years until Hollywood makes an AI movie about AI being the bad guy.
It's a safe antagonist because it's not Arabs or you know what I mean? It's not a specific
unless you're Doctor Who and you make the AI an incel.
Yeah, that's stupid.
That's
but yeah. So
John Gibson for $20 says, interesting thing about the cough from a few years ago. No one ever asked if it was released deliberately or why did they engineer something to remove the olds and sick. Would kind of fix the insolvency with Social Security. I was asking that. You probably weren't here, and that's fine. But I was asking that. Chris was asking that. Jeremy, as everybody in the sphere was asking that. But if you're talking about like legacy media, of course not, because they're sponsored by Pfizer. They were not supposed to ask that question. As a matter of fact, if we asked that question just a couple of years ago, it would get this stream demonetized and probably taken down because it happened a lot. Oh yeah, Chris, how far are you on? Before we get to Harvey, how far are you on Mobland?
Caught up, dude.
Completely caught up. Okay.
I didn't realize it's on midnight. For me, midnight on Saturday night is when it goes up.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I'm so used to that. Like, I'm going to watch the show I love Sunday night. I mean, HBO got us used to that. And so I watched it Sunday night. But dude, that recent episode 8, holy shit. And they're starting to use language like the king, and you know what I mean? Like, and that confrontation between Harry and Eddie, I thought I just having a daughter myself and thinking of myself in that situation, Harry was very calm.
That was such a great speech.
Harry.
Yeah.
So
this was a Harry episode. It's been building up. Tom Hardy's character is Harry. So, and he is a fixer for, if you haven't watched it, for the Harrigan family, and who is the Pierce Brosnan is Conrad Harrigan, and Maeve is played by why did I just blank on her
Helen
name?
Mirren.
Helen Mirren. Yeah, and then Patty Considine is their son Kevin. Toby Jones just pops up in the fucking 8th episode. So this cast is unbelievable, and they are horrible people who are incredibly engaging. And Harry's the good guy. Harry's the good guy, this murderous fixer, who's trying to like keep things together. But man, he's out for his family and he's loyal, but it keeps you guessing. This show keeps you guessing because I was pretty convinced, and it still might be right. There's a snitch. That's kind of the mystery is who's the snitch, and we don't know. We don't know who the snitch is. But there's a great moment when we almost find out, and then we see consequences of it, which is pretty hilarious. And yeah, it's like The Gentleman is way more stylish and fun and sexy and cool. This one is just hardcore cool, but it's a fucking cool show. It's not groundbreaking in it. It's a British English mobster story. It's a fucking Guy Ritchie in his wheelhouse, right? And it's part of his production company, and he directs some of the episodes. But it is a fun watch. Somebody asked me how do you compare it to Tulsa King? Tulsa King has a lot more levity, and it can be like even a situational comedy at times. And Stallone is hilarious in it, but this one is just badass. That's the best way to put it.
Yeah, it is.
It's a badass show.
The fact that Harry's starting to figure out who's really running the family, like that,
Yeah.
I feel like something will go somewhere. He kind of knows who's running.
He
things
knows
now.
all, and he really made it clear in the latest episode. Like, oh, my job is to know everything. That's my job.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Great show. If you haven't seen it, there's 8 episodes. It's on Paramount Plus. It's killing it in the ratings right now.
Yeah.
And pretty much everybody who's seen it liked it to some varying degree.
How is Az not watching this?
I don't understand him.
He doesn't. He's not watching that show. I mean, it happens in his country.
He's in Korea now.
He's or New Zealand. I forget. He's
in North Korea. Okay.
Right.
He's in North Korea. That's where Chat's mom is from, is North Korea.
Sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's so good. So good. I'm hooked.
Yeah, this has been a long time since I've been excited to go see every episode week to week to week, and I'm always like, "It's Mobland night. It's Mobland night."
Yeah, I plan to rewatch it too because it's that good.
Oh yeah,
It's so
definitely gonna
good.
binge it when it's all done, and I'm definitely doing
Yeah.
a video review on it. Like,
And there's a
100%.
season 2 coming, so we
There
know
is.
not everybody dies.
But I think, I think this I was talking to Mahler about it, and it feels like this is just it's a lot, it's structured. You compared it a little bit to Game of Thrones, so it's structured
Yeah.
like that, where pieces are being set.
Yeah.
And then that'll kind of set the stage for the rest of the series. And it could all be boiled down to that very first scene.
Yes.
That very first scene.
Yeah.
That very first scene. All right, let's talk about Harvey Weinstein, I guess. Candace Owens. Candace Owens. However you feel about Candace, she was at the Daily Wire. She no longer is at the Daily Wire. Daily Wire's gone through some changes lately. Changes. Yeah. I'm not crazy about it, but that's me.
Well, we were talking about, like, I saw her documentary about BLM that was on the Daily Wire, and it was not very good. I liked the Matt Walsh documentaries. I thought they were
Yeah.
well researched. They're entertaining. They're funny. He inserts himself, but he doesn't overtake the movie because it has a point. She tried a similar tactic. She's not funny. She actually diminished her point. And even though, like, yeah, BLM needs, to be scrutinized, their tactics and how they're funded and where the money really goes. There's a really good documentary in that. She's the wrong person to make it. That movie was not good.
No, and it turns out like the evidence was out there and you could find it like pretty easily of BLM being by larger mansions.
Yeah, and she's had some bad takes, but I admire her courage and I don't totally dismiss her. So the fact that she talked to Harvey, well, that's interesting. And
it's going to garner a lot of attention, right? So,
Right.
and you run the risk. Listen, I see on Twitter and people going, since Harvey Weinstein left, look what actresses look like now. And it's, I crack up. It's funny, because the internet's funny. It's a funny place. But I don't think Chris and I are not here to sweep for Harvey, or like, I have no dog in this fight whatsoever. I am just an observer of this. And hey, everybody's innocent, proven guilty. And I do believe he has a retrial in one city, but not in another, right? Because he was convicted in both Los Angeles and in New York. If some people go, well, there's been a lot of show trials lately. Yes, there have. And show trials exist. And DAs have fucking egos. And DAs have agendas. And they like to pile up convictions. And whether those people are guilty or not doesn't really fucking matter to them in a lot of cases. So just having been through the system myself. So let's hear a little bit of what I guess Harvey has to say.
Did you want me to keep it at 1.5 or
Yes.
1.5? Okay.
Okay.
There's a long intro here. He is currently in Rikers Island, the most dangerous jail in America. I would, I don't know. There's a lot of dangerous
I just wanted
jails.
to say that I'm not angry, but I'm angry at the system. My situation was transactional, looking back at it. And I want to thank you, Candace, for giving me the opportunity to speak. I just want to say something very clearly. I believe women should be heard, but I'm wrongfully convicted. You know what I mean? And right now, I'm not convicted. I'm on a retrial. My appeal overturned my conviction.
So pause. He's on a retrial in one city. Correct.
It also seems like he's reading something right there.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll say this. I think he's a scumbag. I think he was horrible to women. I don't know if there was actual grape involved. And it may have been, he says transactional. I want to know how many actresses in Hollywood currently holding Oscars made a deal with Harvey that I will do a favor for you if you push my career. He had the magic touch when it came to Oscars.
Oh, he also helped fucked up he had the magic touch. He also was, using his power to manipulate the Oscars.
Well,
Let's be real. Like some of those movies that won were not the best picture of the year. They were fucking shit. Shakespeare in Love is one I bring up all the time. That's a fucking bad movie, dude.
Yeah, I agree. I'll just say, like, is he a great, did he do, he even talks about it. We'll get to it later, but did he do things that were illegal?
Yeah. I guess that's the question.
Immoral, certainly immoral. I think even he would agree.
I think he does agree here, right? Because I scanned it first, but I guess it's the same when it comes to differing degrees with Neil Gaiman and Joss Whedon, right? So much different, like at the opposite ends of the spectrum, because one was just being an asshole, and it's not illegal to be an asshole in Hollywood. Hollywood's filled with assholes. Chris knows.
Yes,
it is filled with assholes. And dicks
right.
and pussies.
Yeah.
And sometimes dicks fuck assholes. And sometimes dicks fuck pussies.
Great Team America speech.
Oh my God.
So good.
Okay, let's go.
Now, I'm not.
And everybody ends up covered in
retrial.
shit.
Oh my God.
Team America. They won't make one like that ever again. One of the greatest movies ever made.
Oh, so good.
All right.
Heard, but I'm wrongfully convicted. You know what I mean? And right now, I'm not convicted. I'm on a retrial. An appeal overturned my conviction, but justice demands a clear, honest look at each case, and I am here for fairness and the truth.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I made mistakes. There's no question about it. I hurt my family. I hurt my friends. I cheated on my wife, and that was a mistake. A terrible mistake. And I apologize to friends, family, and all the innocent people who inadvertently I hurt, and especially to the Messick family, Jill Messick and her family. But I did not commit these crimes. I swear that before God and the people watching now, and on my family. I'm wrongfully accused. But justice has to know the difference between what is immoral and what is illegal.
Pause.
There you go.
No atheists in a foxhole. No atheists in prison. Just want to point that out. In front of God and everybody. It was a mistake that I was walking down the street one day and I tripped and I cheated on my wife. I fell into another woman.
Like, mistake tells me he's not being accountable. When you use the word mistake for a thing you did on purpose.
Like, you cheated on your wife. It's Hollywood. Nobody on earth is going to like a Hollywood producer cheated on his wife. That's a day in a week. Like, nobody cares about that.
Yeah.
What's the average Hollywood marriage? A year and a half? You almost have to count Hollywood marriages in dog years.
Yeah.
But it's the grape that's in question here, and how transactional was things. And when this was going down, especially during the MeToo stuff, we were talking about this a lot. Like, listen, come on. And then some of the people who came out, is it Asia Argento? Is that the one who was
Yes, correct.
All Me Too until she got busted having
with a younger man.
With a kid, a teenager. Yeah. So a bunch of hypocrisy. It was just used as a power move, largely by Jar Jar Abrams' wife, by the way, who was part of the Me Too committee, and it was about putting more women in power. It coincidentally came right around the big DEI push. It was such a coincidence, Chris, that you know what? Ari Emanuel is the man who said, "Never let a disaster go to waste." I'm paraphrasing. That's not the exact, but never let an opportunity like that. Never let a crisis go to waste. Never let a crisis go to waste. So that happened. That's why the Me Too movement fell apart, because it was being used to cancel people who made jokes. Roy Price, the head, the guy who helped start Amazon Prime Video, fired for making a joke at a party, a dick joke.
Yeah, and then people like Aziz Ansari, who had a bad date, a date gone wrong.
Yeah,
that was fine. They were intimate. It seemed all consensual, and then the woman wrote about her. That was like, and that's when guys are like, whoa, what's going on?
It's funny. You're going to see Hollywood now pivot to all of a sudden questioning the government a lot. You're going to start seeing that, and it's amazing since they just took 4 years off from that.
Yeah,
a complete 4-year vacation from questioning the government on anything, and now they're back to it.
To tie this in slightly with the Megyn Kelly interview with Jake Tapper over the original Sin book, which is about that everyone behind the scenes knew Joe Biden was not able to perform duties, so to speak. And
he was performing duties in his pants.
Yeah, duties, those kinds of duties. But it's like, they know how to go after a Republican president when they're in office, but somehow forget to do their journalism job when there's a Democrat in office. It's like you need to apply equally.
Yeah, Bernie Sanders was throwing around the word oligarchy back in the Occupy days and then kind of stopped. And then he started it again, except this time he's flying around in private jets.
He's a fraud to me. I liked him initially, but I think he's been exposed as a fraud.
I've always thought
and I think Elizabeth Warren might not have Indian heritage. I'm
starting to question everything.
Yeah.
All right. Hit play.
People would say my complaint is, I'm getting emotional. Everyone deserves a fair
he lost
trial.
his place. Pause. He's not getting emotional. He lost his place. Come on, Harvey. Come on. Go on.
What is illegal? People would say my complaint is, I'm getting emotional. Everyone deserves a fair trial. Media doesn't favor me, but thanks to you, Candace, there's a voice out there, and Joe Rogan, and uses every opportunity, the mainstream media, to discredit me. But I speak for innocent people. Justice has to matter. Evidence has to matter.
Pause for a second. Why did he drop Joe Rogan's name?
You didn't go on Joe Rogan.
No.
But I think he's just like, I think it's broadly saying, hey, it's the podcast space. That would be my guess. Is they use the opportunity, and maybe somebody's brought it up on Joe Rogan in the past and I missed it. So that could be possibility. But maybe he's just broadly talking about Joe Rogan openly questioning the narrative, the official version of events that we get every day. That's the only reason I can think of, unless the chat knows something I don't, which they always do. Hit play.
But I speak for innocent people. Justice has to matter. Evidence has to matter. I've lost everything. I've lost everything a man can lose, but still the truth matters. I've been condemned of crimes I did not commit. I understand why people want someone to blame, but I am telling the truth. End of statement. End of glasses. And they allowed me to wear a suit today, as opposed to the last time I was in my T-shirt and pajamas. So they wanted me to wear a suit, so here it is.
Well, you look like you're hanging in there. And I got to tell you, since you've been in there, the media world has changed. I think a world that you had a lot of power in. You can see the landscape has changed. And it's a good thing because podcasters like me can have a platform to take a look at situations like yours. And, my audience is very aware of my opinion on this case. I've been very clear about that. I don't find a reason to lie. I said you were wrongfully convicted before it got overturned. And I believe you are wrongfully accused, not just in the New York case, but also in the LA case, which my audience is now up to date on. Harvey, I obviously, because I very much agree with you, I think you are immoral and what you did was wrong, but you did not do anything that came close to what you were accused of under the law. I just want to ask you, what is it like to go from someone who commanded so much power amongst politicians and amongst celebrities and athletes?
Thoughts, Chris?
I think it's, I I really wish someone else was doing this interview, because Candace is, some of her takes have not been the best. So I wish it were someone like a Megyn Kelly, who I think can be balanced, but she seeks truth. So,
I'm surprised Piers. This is like right up Piers Morgan's.
Yeah, Piers Morgan should get him on. Now
he's gonna get him on, I promise.
What does Harvey have to lose? Number one. Number two, the theme of this: immoral, not illegal, and he will hammer that. And he has to start naming names. He talks about, we'll hear it later, a story about Gwyneth Paltrow, but I didn't realize he worked with her so many times, like a lot. And I'm not trying to defend Harvey Weinstein, but actresses can be emotional,
and
a little crazy. A little crazy.
I talked about, there's a Substack out. There's 1,000 of them. So good, we found it. But it was just somebody who was in Neil Gaiman's orbit forever, and the thesis of the Substack was, I totally knew all this was going on. I didn't say anything because I needed to maintain my access to Neil Gaiman. So this is breaking news to absolutely no one. And that is probably the truth 99% of the time. Now, what did they know was going on? Did they know transactional relationships were going on? Or just fucking, I call them relationships, business deals were going on, and that, I guess that's the question.
I think you're naive if you think that things in Hollywood are not transactional.
Mhm.
I mean, it's you owe someone a favor. This is why you get casting that's so bad. We'll talk about that for Fantastic Four. I'm sure we'll get to that.
Ezra Miller,
like people get cast because they have the right connections, people who may have done things to get in those positions or are willing to do things. That's business as usual in Hollywood. So it's really like, I just wonder, when is Harvey gonna, because he doesn't do it in this interview, but this is part one. Does he name names? Does he say, hey, I was intimate with a specific actress, and the implication was I would push her Oscar campaign for her movie. She won an Oscar, and for me doing that, she did this for me. That happens. Don't be naive or stupid. That happens until he's willing to call it out. Until he's willing to. When you see the montage of everyone from Meryl Streep on down to Oprah, there are a lot. They praise him all over. Why? He needs to talk about that. I don't know if Candace is the right person to do that. I hope that this is opening the door to, hey, maybe Rogan he always does in person. Will Rogan do an over the stream interview with Harvey? He could. Maybe it opens himself up to, I'm going to go on the circuit now. Candace is, step one.
I would much rather Rogan. Oh, sorry to interrupt.
Correct.
But like Rogan interviewing Harvey Weinstein. Yes.
But name names. Talk about how Hollywood works. It is, look, that is real. That's real. You do this for me, I do this for you. Why don't you just, this is how movies get packaged. They call it packaging. It's bullshit. It's one studio saying, you have to use all of our actors. We'll give you a deal. There's favors all around. Hollywood is built on relationships and favors. And they took Harvey down because it was a way to take him down and then fill that power vacuum with themselves. But he needs to get specific about how Hollywood works and discuss, you do for me, I do for you, and give examples and call other people out. And in at least the first part of this interview, he doesn't do a good job of that from where I sit. So we'll see.
Yeah, they removed him because his power was slipping a little bit, and they smelled a little blood in the water, and they just wiped it out. And maybe somebody with a ton of talent can do I know there's some documentaries, but they really don't hit on the power vacuum aspect of it at all. Like,
Well, they
and
don't-
how
they
that
don't
was
tell
filled by people associated with Spielberg, people associated with Jar Jar Abrams. Let's not forget that the Democratic Party was heavily involved with the unions, with Hollywood. They're both heavily involved with the unions and the corporations. Let's not forget the Twitter files. Let's not forget how many government assets work in each one of these studios, because they fucking do. We know so much more information now, and it made it a lot easier for them to do this stuff. And Harvey was just seen as a liability, and he probably was, because he was a fucking freak. And like, I still believe the guy had people offed. That's just my speculation. I think he had that much that kind of power. I think he ran it like a gangster,
Yeah.
But did he do what he did? Can they prove it beyond the shadow of a doubt? Well, they did. And again, we have to say, like, he's got 2 convictions, so only one is being readdressed right now. And maybe it's like, I don't fucking know. I have no idea. I find it very hard to trust Harvey Weinstein and the court system in New York.
Right.
I'm a little conflicted. I don't trust either of them. So that's where I'm at. Just here to see what happens. Do we think we're going to get truth or justice? I doubt it. Highly doubt it.
Yeah, I agree. But you've got to break open the whole how Hollywood functions. How does a guy like Pedro Pascal, a guy he's a fine ensemble actor,
character actor,
character actor, he's serviceable. I'm sure he's professional. There is something to like actors that like they show up, they know their lines, they're like machines, like who can memorize, and they hit their mark, and they show up on set early. They're pleasant to work with. Aren't prima donnas that but is he being cast for certain reasons? We should watch a video.
We will later, maybe, if we can ever make it through this one. Here, let's try to get through a bunch.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
What is it like to go from someone who commanded so much power amongst politicians and amongst celebrities and athletes, and overnight, virtually none of those people stood up for you or said, "Hey,
that's Hollywood, baby."
It's shocking, the friends that stayed with me were my friends that I grew up with, the people that I knew before I was famous, before I had power. The people in my life who were steadfast all through my life were the ones who remained loyal. Everybody was scared. This looked like, a witch hunt. Everybody was scared for themselves. Everybody was scared to be canceled. Somehow, I wish this would have happened to somebody else, because I had the courage to have fought on somebody else's behalf, but nobody fought on mine.
Harvey, I have a long list of people who came out against you, but a very short list of who actually spoke out for you. One person in particular, which is quite stunning, a guy by the name of Luciano Garignani, an Italian director. He wore a homemade T-shirt in support of you in 2018 that said that you were not guilty. That was the only person that I could find
that
vocally supported you when all of the heat was coming down on you in 2018.
He's a terrific director, and I'm very much appreciated. But the people who support me are scared to talk. They are frightened to death. They are frightened that they're going to be canceled, that they're not going to be able to work. I try to get my people to stand up and even testify in the trial, and nothing.
And jumping into that, by the way, some of the names, there were people who I think remained silent for that reason that you're saying, is they were fearful of being canceled. But some people took it upon themselves to come out and actually condemn you and to say awful things about you. And the media was obsessed with speaking about Gwyneth Paltrow. I don't know if you know this. She went on Howard Stern and basically made a very strong statement against you and said that Brad Pitt had to effectively rescue her from you and stand up to you because you made her feel so uncomfortable.
We had one instance in a hotel room where he made a pass at me. And then I really kind of stood up to him. I told my boyfriend at the time, Brad Pitt. We were at the opening of Hamlet on Broadway, that Ray Fiennes was in Hamlet, and Harvey was there, and Brad Pitt. It was like the equivalent of throwing him against the wall, energetically. What he did was he leveraged his fame and power to protect me at a time when I didn't have fame or power yet.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
It moved you.
Yeah. It was fantastic.
How'd she get that fame and power?
Make her feel uncomfortable again, I'll kill you, or something like that.
It's a complete fabrication, about my relationship with Gwyneth. I'm going to talk about it and just say that I had a meeting with her. She originally was scheduled to do Woody Allen's Everyone Says I Love You. Thank God I was distributing that movie as well. And I managed to substitute Drew Barrymore for Gwyneth so that Gwyneth could play Emma. And Woody Allen did us a real favor by doing that, because we were scheduled to shoot Emma and I wanted Gwyneth for the role. At the end of the meeting, we had a glass of champagne. As I was walking out the door, I said to her, "I'd love you to give me a massage." And she went, "Yeah." And that was it. I didn't put my hand on her. I didn't touch her. I definitely made
Okay,
a pass.
pause.
I guess.
I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, I mean, it's Harvey Weinstein. He's got all that power, and there's probably a lot of actresses who said yes, I'm guessing. But
also,
fucking Hollywood, dude.
A lot of actors are given the advice to flirt with everyone, male or female, no matter who you are, male or female. You flirt with, because that is part of booking the gig. You make yourself you're likable.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, dude, this happens. But for the sake of the audience, like it happens at every level of Hollywood.
Yes.
We're talking below the line. I hate that term, but below the line with the work that happens at every fucking level. Okay. It happens in a lot of corporate America. Happens a lot, probably behind the scenes in a lot of YouTube places. It's just humans being humans. But yeah, just for him to say, yeah, I guess it was kind of
he's not being completely honest. It's like,
No,
look, I use my power to get pussy.
But is it against the law to go, hey, I'd really like to give you a massage, or give me a massage?
Not against the law.
Not against the
turned
law.
him down, and I guess maybe he honored that, but look, there's a really good video about sexual harassment that SNL did. Have you ever seen that with Tom Brady?
No.
They used it when I was at G4, which is part of NBC, Universal, Comcast, all that stuff. They gave us sexual harassment training. Everyone had to go in, and they played this sketch from SNL, which is Tom Brady. You could look it up. We can't play it. They'll strike us, or SNL does that with all their clips. It sucks. But they show like one guy like trying to hit on a girl, and she's like, ew, you're gross. But Tom Brady does it. And they're like, hey, have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen it.
You've seen it. And there's even one where Tom Brady's in his underwear, and they're showing like, if a guy is ugly, not attractive, if Brad Pitt is hitting on you, or
if Brad Pitt asks for a massage, come on.
Oh yeah.
Or Harvey Weinstein, Harvey's creepy. Brad is, oh, that was so nice. So part of it is, Harvey, you're fucking ugly looking. He could play the mole man in Fantastic Four. He'd be a good mole man.
He would be a good mole man.
That's good casting.
I mean, like the fucking penguin looked like Harvey. It did. And some orcs. If you go to the thumbnail, some orcs.
He's not an attractive man. So what does he use? He uses what he has, which is power, not his looks.
His bank account and his power was really sexy, I guess, to a lot of people.
Exactly. So, look, I still think he's an awful human being. You can't convince me otherwise. But he's right when he says, is it illegal? I don't know. I mean, I think the only thing he has now is he's got to name names. He's got to talk about specifics. He's got to say there are women that were very quiet, and here's what happened.
You would think Harvey Weinstein would know dirt on everybody.
There was a super chat, a random commentator. He says for $10 to clarify, this is not Harvey Weinstein's first episode, just first with video. She's been actually doing a great job. Names have been named in previous episodes. Watch them; they're mind blowing.
So it's not her interviewing him; it's her just talking about it. Then good to know. Good to know, and that's good clarification. We appreciate.
Did I just freeze? Did I freeze?
I don't know.
Yeah.
All right.
You look like you're sleeping, sitting
God
up.
Dang it! I just ordered the new camera too, thanks to X-Ray Girl. This sucks. All right. I mean, I'll stay like that till we get through this interview. Then I'll go and come back. Oh my God!
Don't come back if you want.
Full screen. I'll just say.
Oh what?
No, you're
sorry.
gonna do it.
What?
Yeah.
No. God dang it.
It's like telling your brother you don't like this, so they're going to do it more.
Come on.
I
Come
don't
on.
care.
All right, hit play. So just for in fairness to Candace, because we like to be fair. Tough but fair. Okay? She has done other videos where they do specifically name names. I'll check it out. I just was made aware of this interview today, and maybe she's probably, if she's smart, which she is, I mean, you might disagree with her, but she's not a dummy. I would release this in multiple parts too. I would too. Yeah. Release it weekly and then binge it later. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you could call it that, but that was the sum total of that situation. She did have Brad call me, and Brad, very manly, very cool, just said, don't do that again. And that was that. We made 11 movies together, classic films, Shakespeare in Love, Talented Mr. Ripley, Sliding Doors, just so many great movies and such a great partnership. And now I heard, that she thought the relationship was abusive. Anybody who was there who witnessed that relationship, it just turned into total friends. There's pictures of her hugging me when I was sick, when I was sick in the hospital and didn't think I was going to make it in 1999. Gwyneth at the Golden Globe said, Bomber, we miss you. She got up and made a speech about me. Nobody asked her to do that. In her Academy speech, she thanks me. She's the daughter of a wealthy TV producer, a great man, and Blythe Danner, a great actress, with Steven Spielberg as her godfather. She doesn't have to she could have just said, Harvey asked me for massage.
Nepo baby.
For him again.
Okay, if you consider yourself to be pro-life, here's a wake-up call for you.
Okay,
Despite the overturning of Roe v. Wade,
we can go through past this, yeah. Yeah, Nepo baby. They get really mad when you bring that up, Chris.
Yeah,
the Nepo
true.
babies, they get really mad.
Yeah, but he's not wrong. How did they work together? And look, I've worked together with, and I think X-Ray Girl, you know this about me. I'm not a great hugger. When I hug, and I've had women call me out when I hug them, I don't fully go in. I kind of do the pat hug.
Facts.
Yeah, I just
Very
like,
gentle.
but a lot of women are very touchy-feely. You just don't, you know what I mean? It's like a gray thing. Like I said, I think Harvey being ugly doesn't help. Gotta look stupid. I'm going to come back.
Come back.
I'll be back. Okay.
You'll be back. I'll read a couple super chats till you get back. Kate C, aka Snake Plush Kitten. Hey guys, can you confirm or refute the rumor that James Gunn is pivoting to well-known classic characters and away from obscure characters with a Beware the Creeper movie? Jack Ryder rules. I cannot confirm nor deny that. I do not know. I think I think James Gunn, what it appears to me, what I've heard from the movie is they're really trying to lean into the comic book of it all, which I am not necessarily against, but it's difficult to pull off. So we'll see. We'll see. But I don't know. I don't know. As far as this is concerned, I mean, it's obviously he had a statement written by his attorney. This is a former big-time Hollywood producer, so I'm surprised he probably. Oh well, I mean, nobody probably wanted to talk to him. That would be my guess. And this is the first opportunity he's really had to have somebody talk to him, and it's Candace, and we'll see if that opens the door to people like Piers talked to Kevin Spacey, so why wouldn't you talk to fucking Harvey Weinstein at that point? And Kevin Spacey made a speech at the Cannes Film Festival. Yeah, I was asked on Piers about Kevin. I'm like, too much smoke around that fire. Way too much smoke around that fire. Based on what I know. But if here we can hit play.
And that's preborn.com/Candace.
Right. There you go.
And that's one of the things that I was very compelled in speaking with you. And obviously you and I have spoken many times off record. You're very honest. Every time I ask you a question about the actress, you tell me exactly what happened. And it's interesting because what you're speaking about was what I always found to be problematic about the Me Too movement from the beginning is we're conflating, he made a pass at me and I didn't like it, right? Or, I turned him down, or maybe I had a bad date with someone with rape. And this is very problematic. And sure, she can say that. I didn't like that he made a pass at me, but to jump on a train when people are saying I've been raped, I think it's irresponsible for women to do that. I really do think it's irresponsible for people to be conflating being hit on and not liking it, which you've admitted to, and I've been raped.
No question about it.
No
it's
question.
all conflated, and it's all led to the idea that I am going to be the one they prosecute. I am going to be the one they persecute. Look, when the case was overturned, they could have dropped it, but they didn't. They just went after me one more time.
So hit pause real quick.
Somebody to it.
Just to be clear, to state the obvious, because that's what we do here on YouTube. That's what happened a lot more often than, which hurts the actual, as you guys know, I'm stating the obvious again. What hurts the actual accusation of actual rape is all the false accusations that go completely unpunished, It's only been recently where women have been lightly punished. If women want to achieve full equality, well, let's take a look at the equality of prison sentences between men and women. You want to talk about a gap? It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. So false accusation, if proven beyond the shadow of a doubt, should be treated exactly like the actual act. It should be treated like that because you need to have consequences for that. Because look at how it's uncountable how many lives have been ruined with false accusations or conflating stuff that, maybe a woman regretted because she got caught by her husband or just regretted it the next morning. You know what? That's on you. I was drunk. Well, that's on you. Who fucking drank the alcohol? It's not like you were, roofied. Different. You knowingly drinking alcohol and being irresponsible. That's, you know what? I don't blame all my problems when I was fucking high. You know whose problems those were? Mine. That was my fault. My fucking fault when I got high and did stupid shit. So that can't be fucking undersold, and nobody's done anything about it, really.
Yeah, by the way, with no consequences. Look at Aziz Ansari. Look at I don't know how much you know about Pete Hegseth. There was a woman that he was. I don't want to go into too much detail. I think Megyn Kelly did the best coverage of that, but it was a woman that was married and her husband was in the same hotel with her kid, and she went off with Pete Hegseth, and they were intimate. I won't go into detail, but and then she blamed. It's crazy the amount of these false accusations to kind of save face sometimes. The Aziz Ansari thing is just bullshit.
Yep.
And then he did a comedy. I don't think he's ever recovered. No. He did a comedy special after and spoke about it, but I don't think he's a bad guy. He's I don't know. I always thought he was.
No, there's a lot of people who got ruined because of that. Completely. Completely. And again, that takes away from when it actually happens.
Correct.
Which it absolutely does. It absolutely does. But it's, I would say, if you want to say comparatively, the numbers of it actually happening to the false accusations, it's not even close. The false accusations greatly outweigh the actual accusations.
Yes.
In Hollywood specifically.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hit play.
Have dropped it, but they didn't. They just went after me one more time and added somebody to it. But I can't talk about the case.
Yeah.
I can just talk to you about the things that you need to talk to me about.
Right. I totally understand that. I'm not going to push you on that because
But
that's
one
probably
thing I do want to say is I've asked to have lie detector tests brought into the prison, and I already took a lie detector test on Jessica Mann, and I scored in the highest level that one can do for honesty about not sexually assaulting her or raping her, and I want to do lie detector tests on the others. I know they're not admissible, but I want the world to know that I did that. And I hope the women would just take me up on the challenge and say, okay, we'll do it too. But I doubt they will, but I will.
Yeah, and I think that was one of the things that stunned me is that they didn't report a lot of this stuff in the press. And when I looked at this case and I said, if you're a journalist and you're just interested in anything, why would you leave out these big details? He passed a lie detector test. The things that the court was not allowing to be shown as proof of your innocence in the courtrooms were something that also stunned me, particularly involving the LA case, which I fully expect to similarly be overturned. It definitely looked like the MeToo movement got so big that they needed to say, sort of hang somebody. Somebody's got to die so that we can move on and think that we've achieved social justice. And I think that somebody was definitely you.
100%. They wanted me, and they wanted me in jail forever.
Yeah, and it's quite stunning because I think now, and maybe you recognize this, the Me Too movement is on its way out, if it's not officially gone now, and people are willing to sort of look and examine the facts of this case. And I'm wondering if a lot of these celebrities, and I'll just give you an example here. Seth Rogen came out when things were happening with you, and he said, "I believe all women coming forward about Harvey Weinstein's sexual harassment. It took bravery to do so." Such a blanket statement to just say, "I believe all women." That was kind of what was being said in
Believe all
2017
women.
and 2018. Like women have never told a lie.
They never lie.
I can, Seth, and I made a movie together called Zach and Miri Make a Porno. It was a Kevin Smith film, and it didn't do well. And I think, sometimes you blame the producer or the distributor, and in this case, they blame me. And it was a good movie, and I wish I could have marketed it better, but I couldn't find the handle on it. And So I think there was always animosity between Seth and myself. So given the opportunity, he took a shot at me, and
Yep.
so be it. But I hear he's doing great work on this. I read about that he's doing amazing work on this TV series he has called The Studio, and he's an extremely talented individual. But I was a sitting duck.
Yeah, and look, a lot of these people, I think it was step on his head while he's drowning, and it will help you. And I'm sure their PR agents were saying, you don't want to get caught up in this. Make the right statement, or you're going to get burned by this. But like I said, some people took it, I think, a bit further. You and I had discussed, and I don't know if we want to talk about this, but Brad Pitt kind of got involved in a Me Too project after this. Kind of got involved in a Me Too movie, so to speak, helping to produce one. And you and him had a very close relationship.
Well, I wouldn't say it was close, but it certainly was friendly. And I guess his company produced She Said, the New York Times
Oh, She
writer.
Said.
Oh,
And
by the way,
Pause.
yeah, I saw that movie. I'm one of the few people who saw that movie. I predicted it would bomb
Mhm.
badly. It's Hollywood and the New York Times congratulating themselves. That's the whole movie. And I remember the weekend it opened, I did a review of it, and I was talking to Alan, and I looked at the theaters. There were 5 tickets sold at a prime 7 p.m. on a Friday, but they were all individual seats, not 2 people. It was all like one seat, one seat, one seat.
Nobody was
one
taking
seat.
a date to that one.
Yeah, it's like, let's see. Hey, do you want to go see She Said about, and the way they portrayed Harvey Weinstein, they never showed him that from the back, it kind of looked like him. They cast a guy who kind of looked like him. And I don't know, that movie, it's just so like, see how great we are at the New York Times. It's like, I think average moviegoers do not have the stomach for that. Tell me how great you are. F off. I mean, we talk about it a lot, but the mainstream media is so out of touch with average everyday Americans. They become the elite. They
Yes.
used to be that journalism was a blue collar job, and was concerned with blue collar.
Now it's a class.
Concerns.
It's a class.
Now it's
the elite media class.
Yes.
For sure.
Elite media
There's
class.
the political class, the media class.
Right. It reflects all their concerns, not concerns of average everyday people, which is, man, the mainstream media is so broken. I mean, I'm glad for it that people like Candace and Megyn Kelly and Joe Rogan, like others, can rise to the occasion, but fuck, they're so out of touch and completely unaware and completely just don't even understand why they are failing, which is why that Jake Tapper interview is so interesting.
Yeah, She Said wanted to be like the Woodward Bernstein. I mean, and what I recollect is it's a big fluff piece. And what they're going to bring up here is, I guess in this story from the New York Times, they left out a lot of shit, which shouldn't surprise anybody. The old gray lady, I've never trusted it. I'll just be upfront. I've never respected it or trusted it since I knew what it was. So we all know, we talked about this on Forbidden Frontier. We talk about it a lot. Before, social media, and a lot of you guys know this, is places like the New York Times and everybody got their news from basically 2 sources. It was AP and Reuters. They were fed the official version of events. Now they did little local reporting and stuff independently, but for the big stuff, AP and Reuters would supply them with all their official version of events. Hit play.
And they produced the movie, and I can, I just, when it came out, obviously I was concerned, but it bombed so badly. There was no interest in it. It grossed $2.5 million. It was a $30 million movie, something like that, or maybe that between advertising and the cost of the film. And the movie grossed $2.5 million its opening weekend, which is a disaster. I think it went on to gross $4 or $5 million. So maybe it showed there's no interest in me, but there certainly was no interest in the case. And the New York Times, those writers, I have read something that is so explosive and such a bombshell that a young writer named Clark Patterson, conservative, with the guts to write an article about what happened to me at the New York Times, a detailed point-by-point article showing that there was no reporting, that they were taking dictation. When they said She Said, they meant it. She said, we wrote it down, we never checked it. Rose McGowan said, I donated money to an organization. They never checked, that she did that. They never checked, these different things and followed up and did the research before they wrote the article. Ashley Judd's claims are, ridiculous. I stood in a hotel room. I never touched her, came on to her, nothing ever. I fought for her. They said I banned her on a movie. I fought for her on Good Will Hunting, and I lost that battle. I thought she would have been fabulous in that movie, and I think she would have gotten an Oscar nomination. But people can forget all it is research. There's an article in the Washington Post, if you Google Ashley Judd and Harvey Weinstein, and said that Ashley Judd gushed all over me at the English Patient Oscar party. There's a picture of me holding her hand. And when she went on TV, she said, "See, he's pulling me. He's pulling me." I was just holding her hand, pushing her into the party, bringing her in. But Diane Sawyer and those people at that time, you believed it because everybody believed those people, at that moment. The New York Times believed no research whatsoever. I hope this article blows the whole place up, and that the Pulitzer Prize people reconsider.
Harvey, I think it's
did that get
perhaps more sinister.
Did that article get a Pulitzer Prize? I mean,
I'm sure it did, but
sure
it's like, do you really honestly think if he was a rapist, a horrible, violent rapist, that he would have had the long career he had? You could say he was a scumbag. You could say casting couch types of events occurred, but I feel like this is going to be a horrible, some might take this the wrong way, but I feel like the women that were involved got what they wanted, which
in the transaction.
In the transaction, they were cast in movies and they went on to win Oscars, and he had that kind of power. So like back when Film Threat was being published in the 90s as a print magazine, we had an article. We had a recurring series of articles called the Tales from the Casting Couch, and where we exposed things like this. But the two biggest complaints, and there was a news story, I can find it somewhere, a news story that was on Fox News with me and Gloria Allred. I could dig it up, Gary. Maybe next week we'll play the embarrassing video of me. But the two biggest complaints from actors were, one, that this type of thing happened, and two, actors were pissed off at other actors for participating in perpetuating it, because it meant they lost out on roles for refusing to participate in a transaction. So it was actors were pissed about it, and SAG ignored it. I was talking about this shit in the early 90s. For years, we ran this column. Geraldo Rivera did an entire episode of his show about our column in Film Threat. So we were talking about this 20 years before Me Too happened, right? Then all this happens. It's like, it's such bullshit. And they just made him the scapegoat. So I'm not saying he's not bad. I'm saying he probably didn't necessarily grape.
Yeah, just did some bad things. I don't know. I can believe that powerful Hollywood producers get away with a lot of stuff that would be considered a crime and a felon that would get the rest of us in jail for the rest of our lives. And most of us wouldn't do it because we have this thing called morality, and morality just doesn't exist there. It's become such a sick town and a sick environment. And they dealt with it by making it a sicker environment and more authoritative. It was really fucking bizarre place, Hollywood. But in this case, I mean, I need to see some evidence, but I'm willing to listen. I'm definitely willing to listen. Again, I don't think he's getting out. I just don't, because I don't think he flips the Los Angeles case at all. But and maybe he's innocent. I don't fucking know. But as far as them, he's the fall guy, and now and everybody's focused on Harvey, and nobody focuses on everything else. Let's not forget where Me Too stopped. Me Too stopped at men and children. It was only Me Too for women because it was convenient for the power grab in Hollywood. But when men started talking about it, it kind of got shut down. And then, when people go, well, if there's men and women, what about their kids? Not a fucking peep. Just find that strange. Not really, but you know how it goes. Hit play.
That the Pulitzer Prize people reconsider.
Harvey, I think it's perhaps more sinister than you even think, because, and this is, we're similarly following a case with Blake Lively, and it is a case of she said. The New York Times, I think, even worse than that, they wanted to go after this guy. They had friends at the New York Times. The exact same woman who won a Pulitzer, one of the 3 people who won a Pulitzer for taking you down, Megan Twohey, was the one who wrote this piece about Justin Baldoni. And when we got the full details, gratefully, Brian Friedman, and this would have been my legal strategy had I been your lawyer.
I did not know that. Hang on, pause. So one of the co-authors of the article against Harvey Weinstein went after Justin Baldoni, and was dictated to do so by Blake Lively and turn Ryan Reynolds. That's interesting. Wonder if she'll win a Pulitzer for that one. Hit play.
Full details, gratefully, Brian Friedman, and this would have been my legal strategy had I been your lawyer, just dropped every possible detail for the public to be able to read. It is, but I think personally there should be laws. A journalist should have to go to prison. I mean, if you're putting people in prison on the basis of what you write, it just would follow to me that somebody would have to suffer the consequence of lying. These are lies by omission and painting people as, sexual harassers or worse than that, rapists, because you're maybe doing a solid for your friend, which is what it's looking like the New York Times was doing for Blake Lively and Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
And perhaps bigger people behind them. Have you considered the angle, Harvey, that these are big bosses, WME bosses, are the people who want to buy a piece of your company? Have you made somebody angry? I think that there might have been something more behind the takedown of you, because I can't comprehend it. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Well, I don't know. I think, with the New York Times, I think the relationship was always rocky, because I wanted, the New York Times to cover the things that I wanted, and I wanted the New York Times not to cover some of the things too. So it was a back and forth relationship. And I, on one level, I had a great relationship, with the owner, but the owner of the paper, has a firewall between him and the editorial. There were editorial back and forth. I guess they didn't like me and they wanted me, and I was a good target for them.
How do you think she then won a Pulitzer? That's what's stunning to me. It kind of makes the entire system fraudulent, because to win a Pulitzer, it has to be such detailed. You looked at every angle, you've explored every case. I mean, I barely looked at this case before I realized something was very wrong. And I thought you were guilty, by the way. When you and I first got on the phone, I just said, I don't even remember what he was in prison for, but there were so many articles that surely somebody did the due diligence and noticed that he was guilty, or confirmed that. And it was, an hour reading into these transcripts. And I went, what's going on here?
Well, this young man, Clark Patterson, has a detailed article coming out, which will detail piece by piece, every name, every story, everything that they did and everything they didn't do as reporters. And it is a stunning piece. And I hear it's going to be published soon. I don't know where, but I just heard through the grapevine. But and I read a preliminary article, and I'm excited, to have that out. I hope the New York Times restates its case so I can sue them for defamation.
Absolutely. And a question for you, Harvey, somebody who's on the red carpet all the time, flying premieres, flying private, commanding so much respect in the industry. What is a day in your life like now?
And this is where it ends. Boom.
Oh, God, look at that thumbnail.
So a day in the life of Harvey Weinstein is he gets up early in the morning, drops a deuce, goes and gets some some slop and some fucking in the morning you probably get some biscuits and gravy. You might get some powdered eggs, and then you go back and then you watch TV. I doubt he's hitting the yard, I doubt he's lifting weights or playing racquetball, or it depends on like where you are, how max it is. I've never been to Rikers, never want to go to Rikers. But then he goes and gets lunch. Then he goes back and watches some TV, probably reads a book, probably plays some pinochle, maybe throws some bones with the brothers, and then he has dinner and has Salisbury steak. Yep. And then he goes back to his cell and watches some TV, read a book, play some pinochle, throw some bones with the brothers, And intermixed in that is a little bit of maybe the occasional fucking prison race riot, somebody trying to stab you, some knucklehead trying to start a fight, That's the day in the life of Harvey Weinstein. Lots of FOMO, though. You get FOMO in prison. Fear of missing out. Because you're literally missing out on everything.
Well, one thing I don't want you to miss out on, Gary, is the F1 popcorn bucket.
Oh.
Photos just dropped. Let me show it to you. Here it is, F1. What the hell?
Oh, it's a helmet.
It's a helmet, but I kind of feel like
it should have been a car.
Yeah, it should be a car.
Yeah.
Well, have you seen the
helmet
Thunderbolts?
looks good. No, I haven't seen the Thunderbolts.
The Thunderbolts, dude. Okay, they still have them. One of the few popcorn buckets that's not sold out. Let me show you that one.
I mean, are we at peak popcorn bucket yet? I mean,
it's. I really want to get the thing from Fantastic Four.
Yeah, I want to get that one too.
A crypto. There will be a crypto one. I guarantee.
I don't want to.
This is Thunderbolt. It's the limo, and it's metal, and it's $50.
Oh Jesus, no!
They still have them.
They have the metal crypt from Nosferatu. That's probably the last one I'm gonna buy. That one's cool, but
yeah.
I think it depends on the IP though. Like,
look, Fantastic Four. I'll probably get the thing.
Yeah, I'm getting the thing head because it's cool.
That's really cool. Like
Jurassic Park, maybe.
I saw the Jurassic Park one. Let me see if I have a picture of that somewhere. But it's, I have the Jurassic Park. It's
War of the Rohirrim had the best one.
The hammer.
Oh yeah,
the hammer. It's absolutely the best one. Hang on.
Let me show you. I'll show you the Jurassic Park is right here.
Absolute crap
Jurassic
movie.
World.
But you get this. That's pretty cool. And you put your popcorn in here on this side.
And Mission Impossible has the thing with the 2 keys. I've seen video of it. It looks really cool. This is the incubator dual container.
Oh,
does anyone actually put popcorn in these things?
I don't know.
Greasy.
The alien Romulus Wayland, that with the green lights on the bottom.
Oh yeah.
Not that one, not that one,
one,
but the one with the
one.
face hugger in it. That's so good.
This one is cool.
Yeah. Oh, the Bat Signal one. The Bat Signal one is dope. Is super good.
One of the best.
Yep.
I would have liked like you know how like in the first movie, like the cracked egg, like.
By the way, that must have been giving
cool.
the audience whiplash talking about fucking Harvey Weinstein and going into popcorn buckets. I apologize. That is a hard pivot.
Oh my
hey,
God.
I think, he should be allowed to talk and people should be allowed to interview him. We should hear his side of the story. It's the way things go. I am not convinced either way. I am convinced that Harvey did horrible things and he probably didn't do some of the horrible things he's accused of because Hollywood's filled with a bunch of backstabbing opportunists who will fucking dance on somebody's grave before they're fucking dead. That's what I believe.
Yeah.
I believe they're just all kind of a bunch of awful people. And there's some good ones in there that are mixed up in here that really like hate everything that's happening to Hollywood and speak up when they can. But it's impossible because Hollywood's never going to fucking learn. Like the Cannes Film Festival has been cringe. And this isn't from the Cannes Film Con. I want to say Con. And I just think of Wrath of Khan. I want a Wrath of Khan Film Festival. That's what I want. The Wrath of Khan Film Festival. So this is from the Last of Us 2 rap party. It's been making rounds the last couple days.
No.
And hey, it's just Pedro having fun. And it just, all it does is explain a lot.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised about any of this.
He knows how to handle a lightsaber.
It's a rainbow lightsaber that he's licking and then dancing. Look at the way he dances. It's like he's at Pride.
I'm like,
right here.
Isn't The Last of Us 2 based on a video game about like zombies? I didn't think, but this is kind of what it is. This Last of Us 2, what I know of it, Last of Us Season 2, is about Pride Parade. It's how you have a Pride Parade in the middle of a zombie apocalypse.
By the way, does Mrs. Pascal know about this video?
Is there a Mrs. Pascal?
There's a Mrs. Pascal?
Is there? Let's find out.
Is the Mrs. a Mrs. Pascal? I don't fucking know. And does that mean, dude, there's a thing called a beard. So does that mean anything? No. I think Pedro's as fluid as Hollywood right now. That's my opinion.
Pedro Pascal is not known to have a girlfriend currently.
Okay,
and
so find Gina Carano's tweet from around the same time.
Is it the one with the princess?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, this could be completely unrelated. Totally unrelated. Came out around the same time. When I know things, but I can't say anything because of the way I found out.
Wait, what?
You didn't see this?
Nope.
It could be totally unrelated. All right. It could be. I'm literally seeing the Pedro thing, and then Gina's comes up on my feed, and I'm like, oh.
Is it a coincidence?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe not. I don't know.
Oh my God.
If you want to know why he's getting so many roles, I think
Transactions.
the mo you know. The mo you know. Maybe he checks an extra box.
That's what I'm thinking.
Well, I also think politically he aligns with absolutely everything, and that definitely helps him. It protects him and helps him keep a job. Like Az brought it up yesterday. He's not afraid of anything. He's not afraid of getting canceled.
Yeah.
He is not. He is fearless, and it's because he adopts the politics of Hollywood, for sure. For sure. I don't think he's a terrible actor. I don't think he's got the best agent in the world, and I think he's overexposed, highly overexposed. He's in a he was in a major HBO show. He was in a major Star Wars project. That's the Star Wars next movie, first movie since the Rise of Palpatine, features Pedro Pascal. Marvel's until Doomsday come out, but this one sets this is Marvel's most important movie in years as far as the future. He is the star. He is the star of the Fantastic Four. And then he's in
not Reed Richards. Just
no.
is not.
Then there's Eddington, which we'll see when it comes out.
Yeah.
We'll see when it comes out. Let's see what else we got. X-Ray Girl. And in the meantime, Tom Cruise is running out there just, and however you feel about the movie, just giving a clinic on how to fucking promote a movie and be a professional.
Have you seen all the videos of him just talking to theater employees, eating popcorn, showing up like to he's doing the rounds. And
yeah.
And isn't he coming to
he is coming to San Antonio tomorrow.
Are you did you call the theater to find out if he'll be there?
No, but I heard, I can't say for sure right now. I heard something about him making an appearance somewhere, and I don't know. I can't say. I can't say. But
say, but do you know?
I do.
Oh,
I do.
good.
Yeah.
Dude,
but,
film it.
Like I don't know, like it could change last minute. So to say something would not be responsible at all, because it's just a possibility. And I plan to see it tomorrow. First thing, 3 fucking
Get the
hours.
bucket. Get the bucket.
Gonna get the bucket. What's this?
Why don't rather than doing your typical junket, Tom Cruise is saying, hey, F the junkets. This stuff it's all over my Instagram. Is him just saying that, and he was talking to theater employees. He pointed the poster. He goes, see that's real. Like, he did it. Like, you'll see you'll see that scene in the movie. It's insane. I can't wait to see it again, actually. So
when are you going to see it again? Oh, you are? You're going to go
see it tomorrow. Yeah.
Nice.
Norm from Cheers passed away. George Wendt.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Norm. Norm.
Yep.
Here, do this one. At Con Politics, penny pinching. Could you pull that one up?
Yep.
What's going on? What's
well,
this?
This is it's more of Hollywood. So the Cannes Film Festival is going on. This is where deals are made. This is where political statements that are especially cringe. They dialed it back. I want to say last year. They really dialed it back, but man, the floodgates are back open. So after woke Hollywood got its ass kicked last year, it's licking its wounds, and it's going to double down. At Cannes, politics, penny pinching, and strict red carpet rules overshadow the glitz, good times, and glamour. Well, basically, you're partying while Rome is on fire right now. You're having a fucking party. For a moment, it felt like the old can again. On Sunday night, as the festival crawled toward its midpoint, news broke that Mubi, the upstart distributor that rode the Substance's Oscar success to a $1 billion valuation, was shelling out $24 million for Die My Love. The film was one of Cannes' most polarizing, but is it? Oh, what's the one? Oh, Die My Love is with Chris. What do you know about Die My Love?
I don't know anything about it. No. My assumption is this will be acquired, released in the fall for Oscar consideration.
But nobody will actually watch it.
I have not seen it.
Most polarizing, but Mubi was spending more than Anora made at the domestic box office for the right to release an edgy relationship drama. Perhaps it's justified price tag because Die My Love features Jennifer Lawrence. Oh, that's right. She was talking about it. And Robert Pattinson. That's not going to help anything. Robert Pattinson was in a major flop this year. Movie stars at a time when those are an endangered species. Well, they're not movie stars. Jennifer Lawrence and Robert Pattinson are not. They're good. Robert Pattinson's a damn good actor. He will not put butts in the seat. A movie star is somebody who puts butts in seats. It's more like even The Rock, considered a major celebrity. Is he a movie star? Can he put butts in the seats? The answer is no. There are a rare breed on the red carpet of Cannes where studios mostly resisted the lure of splashy premiere. An exception was made for Tom Cruise's Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, a global hype machine to the steps of Palais.
It's Palais.
Palais, sorry.
Palais.
Where it was met with meh. Otherwise, upcoming summer blockbusters like F1 and How to Train Your Dragon seeded the stage to indies and international films. Well, probably just because it would be a waste of money. Like, why premiere it out there? They did that with Indiana Jones, and that didn't help. So I would think it's probably just penny pinching. It's harder for entertainment companies to see spending $1 million or more on Cannes launch when the box office is struggling and profit margins are evaporating. And there were other signs of fragility. Companies sent fewer executives to scout for movies. Restaurants seemed less packed, and the massive banners that usually blanketed the croisset were never unfurled.
Oh.
Well, I'll say that I've actually been to Cannes. Went there once. I had a movie at the Cannes Film Market. My big fat independent movie, Attack of the Dock, was sold. What people don't understand Cannes is it's an opulent event to promote movies for the European market. So it's also a backdoor indie film market. Yeah. So you go there to buy movies. It's one of those things like if you love movies, like I know you do, Gary, you love film. It's like saying, I love cheeseburgers. You love cheeseburgers, but you go to the place where they carve up and grind up the cows into meat to make the patties. You don't want to see it. It forever will scar you to like, this is how the movie business really works. And it's used as it's for the European marketplace everywhere, outside the US. There are buyers there from over 80 countries to purchase movies and get distribution deals. So it's weird. When I went, I brought 2 tuxedos and I actually did get to walk up that red carpet. They do a fashion check and they were way ahead of the curve on like terrorism. Security is tight, but they do a fashion check. They made me take off my bow tie, which was kind of a rock and roll bow tie, to wear a normal, boring black tie. It's a very weird thing. The women are half naked on the red carpet.
Oh, they used to be.
And they spend a lot of money to promote movies there to open in Europe. It's all fake nonsense, but deals do get made there. And I'm guessing that the studios are tightening the belt, spending less.
Mm-hmm.
No surprise.
Other wounds were self-inflicted. New red carpet bans on nude dressing, and many stars and fashionistas leaving their best looks on the rack. Or covering up the rack, which I find incredibly disappointing personally.
Yeah.
Cannes, the epitome of excess and glamour, wasn't made for these times. As the festival prepares to wrap things up, here's 5 takeaways from the south of France. We'll only just do this first one. Politics rocks the
Palais.
Cannes opening night overflows with lyrical odes to the power of cinema. But this year's kickoff was overshadowed by the chaos and carnage rocking the world. Robert De Niro, who was honored with a Lifetime Achievement Award, as the man is shrinking in real life, by the way, used his acceptance speech to blast Trump as a Philistine, urging artists to organize, to protest, and when there are elections, of course, to vote. Well, thank you, Robert De Niro. How's your family life, bud? In her remarks, Juliette Binoche, who is overseeing the competition jury, drew attention to the humanitarian crisis in Gaza and other hot-button issues, which I'm sure Hollywood just loves to hear about, by the way. It's not a divisive issue at all, the whole Gaza thing in Hollywood. Not divisive at all. War, misery, climate change, and primitive misogyny.
What does that even mean?
Oh my God. The demons of... Oh, I'm getting an echo here. The demons of our...
I hear it too.
Yeah, I'm hearing an echo. Chris, do you have your headphones on, Chris?
I don't have headphones on.
Oh.
Is it from me?
Yes, it's from you.
Probably.
The demons of our
Barbarities.
Oh, barbarities. The demons of our barbarities leave us no outlet. Man, that primitive misogyny. God dang it. It's always the primitive misogyny, she said. Cannes may be a bubble. You think? But some horrors can't be ignored. Oh, you ignore horrors all the time, Hollywood. We just went over one. A horror you ignore all the time. That's it. That's all. Everybody, it's primitive misogyny. We've gotten to the bottom of it. We have gotten to the bottom of it. Everything sucks in Hollywood because of primitive misogyny. It's my new favorite term, by the way. I'm personally for progressing to advanced misogyny as opposed to primitive.
Or would it be modern?
Modern misogyny, advanced misogyny. You know, like the calculus of misogyny. Misogyny squared. You know. Let's go. Hey, Gary, let's talk about Mobland, episode 8. We did talk about Mobland, but I don't want to spoil anything until everybody watches the show. But I'm guessing I'll probably dedicate a live stream and an entire video on this first season. I guess they could still shit the bed, but this show has been progressively getting much better as each episode. Like first couple episodes, you're like, that's pretty good. Yeah, it's 7 out of 10. That's pretty good. But then it starts ratcheting up as time goes on. And it's a you know what? It's not like an anxiety-filled tense watch. It's fun to watch. You're like, oh, this is going to go really bad. Let's see how bad it goes. And some of it goes really bad. But it's fun. Panic and Skyfaller for $9.99. How to save movie theaters to replay old movies. That seems to be working in some cases. Make every screen exit into gift shops filled with relevant collection of licensed exclusive movie tie-in items. Yes, my dream back in the past was to have a movie theater comic shop. So a theater or two where you pay a couple bucks to go in, and we just show old fucking movies, and in front is a full functioning comic shop, like a real
Alamo
one.
Draft House is kind of like that. the Alamo Draft House. They've got like a gift shop, and they've got, stuff related to the movies that are playing, and then they serve beer and food, and it's like dinner and a movie.
They shut
It's
down a
great.
bunch of them, but I like the Alamo
Yeah.
Draft House. They did shut down a bunch of them, but they're still around. God, they're owned by a horrible company now, though. I can't remember. They got bought out by a horrible company.
Yeah, they kind of got bought out. Yeah.
But yeah, like a little just mom and pop theater that's not going to show new releases, that just shows old stuff, and be a full functioning comic shop. But I'd have to own the building, and Obi Wang Ravioli for $5 says, I showed you my Pedro. Please respond. Also, hi Rags. Say hi to Rags out there. Foxy Scorpio for $9.99. All of Tom Cruise's stunts are lame as fuck. None hold a candle to Barry Bostwick's flying motorcycle stunt in Megaforce. Megaforce! That ad that was on the back of every single comic book. When did it come out? Late 70s, early 80s? Can't remember what year exactly. I've slept since then. Pedro White passing and a fig. Now I understand. As a fig. Now I understand. He's not passing. I think Candace knows she pissed off some of the wrong people in the media and political spheres in recent years. She is also, in my opinion, a cheap provocateur. Well, she's had some questionable things from the past that she's backed. Not like Harvey Weinstein allegations, but backing of an app that she basically came from the other side. She was a former SJW, a massive former SJW. But people can change, so I don't fucking know. I don't watch her stuff. I don't. I go to independent stuff for news, and I kind of go to a variety of channels to watch some political news, because I don't get it from mainstream media. I don't trust it from mainstream media, but I'm pretty picky from where I get it because of, Con Inc. is really no different than Hollywood behind the scenes. It just isn't. So I look for indie, like truly indie people. Yay, the Vinyl Revolution for $4.99. I'm giving you $5 for no other reason than that than Harvey Weinstein thumbnail. That goes straight to Perry.
Yeah.
Well, it was Chris's idea though. So Chris had the spark of the imagination. He texts me and he's all, dude, you got to put Harvey Weinstein on the thumb and put Return of the King as the title. And I'm like, that's great. I love it.
Yeah, I was trying to make you laugh. I didn't know that you'd do it.
Oh, good. Dude, so when decisions are made, like rarely do I okay, so with my Thunderbolts review, I did chicken out. I kind of wish I didn't. Maybe I'll just change the title. It was going to be Thunderbolts is Marvel's Suicide Note instead of Suicide Squad.
Oh, right.
I kind of wish, because that's the deal breaker for me. It's not like, is this going to get us demonetized or in trouble? Is it funny? And if I laugh, I'm like, okay, I think it's funny. Let's go. Not everybody might think it's funny, and that's fine. But that's kind of how I decide things. Is it funny? Binary Bard for $10. Gary, I agree that the movie orchestral scores should use an orchestra. There are orchestras around the U.S. that would love to record a soundtrack. Even a high school orchestra is better than synth, in my humble opinion. Yeah, there are orchestras everywhere. Chris is right; they're expensive, but like movies are expensive, and you're going to cut corners on the most important aspect of a movie. Outside of the story is the music. It sets the tone of your fucking story. And sound. We talked about this. Soundtracks are very average now, really average. They're not dynamic. Movie posters suck, like across the board. 99% of them absolutely suck. They're just made by marketing departments. There's no art in it. They used to be dynamic. Like we brought it up before, the fantasy schlock movies from the 80s, Chris, had the best fucking posters. They had the best fucking posters.
Sword and the Sorcerer.
Dude, Frazetta did promo art for Battlestar Galactica. Frank fucking Frazetta. And if you see it, it's unbelievable. Back in the day. So yeah, it just sucks. And I don't know why they don't do it. I don't know why they don't go back to the art poster. They need, like, Hollywood has lost itself. It's got an identity crisis. I don't know if it ever gets it back. But it's those simple things. And I've been complaining about movie posters for 20 years, folks. So this isn't new for me or this channel. When Photoshop came around, some of the, like, the Marvel, Chris, have you seen some of the Marvel, like, 4K or just basic bitch Blu-ray releases that in Target or in Walmart?
I haven't, but like, they're so generic.
Yes.
It's like it's like they don't hire artists anymore. They have no vision. Even the people that are making the choices don't have the creative. There's such a thing as a good creative director that makes choices, who to hire for this, font style, this, like, I've read books about fonts and design, and people have lost all knowledge, even how to tell someone how to make something creative. I'm looking up the movie poster for Sword and the Sorcerer now, and it's fucking amazing.
Show it. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah, I gotta
God dang, it's such
okay,
real quick. So
the size.
The Target, like the versions of the Blu-rays that were coming out are basically, it's a white background and it's the character without his mask on with some boring fucking logo, right? And it's just really low effort shit. And you compare it to the Mondo stuff, right? That they produced with the posters and the steel cases, which are fucking amazing, which are great. And it's like, why wasn't that your poster? You know, it's because it's corporate and the art is gone. And look at this.
Wow.
That is so, it's accurate to the movie. There is nudity.
It's a fucking awesome poster.
Boobs. It's this sword that shoots a projectile sword is awesome. God, that movie was so crazy. It took and then they did make the sequel. It's not very good.
No,
it's kind of lame. But man,
I have a soft spot in my heart for this movie, and it's got one of the best posters ever fucking made.
And the music is good. It was it was kind of Raiders of the Lost Ark too. Had a little taste of that, but it was dark, man. There was some dark, horrible shit in it. And pirates. And by the way, the movie was diverse.
Yes.
It was diverse. We didn't think about it. It was just like, oh, this is a good movie.
You know?
Man, the art of the movie poster has been lost. It's the most generic. Look at the Film Threat Instagram. I do that to make a point. Very rarely you see a good poster. It's a whole feed of movie posters. A lot of indie stuff, and it's garbage.
When you get a good poster now, it's like some alternate that they hired some artist to do, and it's always better. It's always 1,000 times. Like I mentioned, the Mondo stuff from Marvel. You know, all those steelbooks. Have you seen those, Chris? The Mondo posters?
Yes, the Mondo ones. Yeah,
they're fucking rad. You know,
they're awesome.
They're great. They should be the posters, but not. Yeah. And
there's a concept that has been lost in movie posters called, I've written about this. It's what they call in advertising and art design called second read. It means you look at that and you're, wow, that's a cool poster. Then you look more closely at it, like you stare at an album cover and you notice other details. You see, oh, there's this thing here. This is, you know, I mean, even the movie posters for the prequels, Star Wars prequels, were better. It had that element of second read.
The prequel posters were good.
They were good posters.
Yeah.
The titles of those movies were good. When Disney, it's like, oh, it's like this. Everything is so low effort. You know, freaking Mando and Grogu, Star Wars Starfighter.
Yep.
What the you fucking lazy pieces of shit.
Andor.
Come up with a good title.
Fucking Andor should not have been called Andor.
It should have been called Welcome to the Rebellion.
Yes.
Yeah. or something like that, or had titles. I do think there's, in the 20 hours of Andor season 1 and 2, there's a good 6 hours in there. And that's it.
I agree.
And it's a really, really good 6 hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Oh, yeah. It's such a weird show to discuss. But watch Mobland because it's better. Mobland's better. It's more entertaining. It doesn't have any cringe. Actually, Mahler brought it up. There's one storyline that's just kind of meh, right? You're like, oh God.
Yeah.
It fucking rallies.
I know you're talking
Jesus Christ. You're like, oh damn.
Oh,
so it's like that. That's what I'm like, God, I love this show and I'm gonna sing its praises. And I hope people get tired of me talking about it and then just go watch it. Because when we do get something good, fucking enjoy it, man. And we do have good stuff out. We're gonna get Tulsa King season 3 this year. We're gonna get Reacher Rallied in season 3. I thought season 3 was much better than season 2. So we're going to get Landman probably the beginning of next year. Landman's a great fucking show. If you Clarkson's Farm, I'll mention that, starts in 2 days. 2 fucking days we get Clarkson's Farm, baby. So, I mean, there's good stuff out there. Hopefully get good movies someday. That would be nice. But yeah, probably not. I manage a restaurant in Northern California. My food runner, who is a college student, asked to leave early to work on a paper for his critical thinking class. Oh, they teach that in school, do they?
It's crazy.
The assignment was to write a fanfic based on work from Shakespeare written through a feminist lens.
That last line.
Ugh.
Oh. You know what? At this point, I don't even think the universities are Marxist training grounds. They are a place to send your kid, put your ass in debt or their ass in debt or both of you to make your kid hate you. So there's a point where the parents got to stop their fucking dick measuring contest going, well, my son's going to Stanford. My son's going to Harvard. My son's going to join the CIA. It's like, no, if you love your kids, don't send them to Hollywood and don't send them to university, or at least teach them a fucking trade before you do that. Learn a marketable skill, an actual marketable skill, not writing fucking Shakespeare fanfic from a feminist lens. And you paid how much for that? And you know it. Well, he's just going to go to fucking Grok and have it write it for him.
It's because the universities politically are only one-sided.
Yes.
It's all like, this is why when I would hire people in the 90s from college, they had to be like unlearn all their dumb shit. It's academia has created people that sound smart. The person I would put in that category would be someone like Destiny. I mean, I find that guy kind of insufferable. I really
just sounds like he's on Adderall.
But he talks really fast.
Yeah, talking really fast over people does not make you smart.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So he uses techniques that are very college to sound smart, but he's a fucking moron. That's why, like, just people that you just have to avoid that. Like, avoid that influence or just not go to college, which I'm a college dropout. So FYI, I dropped out.
College dropout. Hey, Silicon Valley, one of the greatest shows ever made.
Oh.
Banger season 1. There's a whole thing about dropping out of college in it, and it reflects the libertarianism of its creator. So it's a great show. It's a great show. Mike Judge, libertarian.
God dang it! I froze again.
You froze again.
Damn it!
But one of the most bingeable shows out there are easily the first 3 seasons of fucking. I like the whole series, but when they got rid of TJ Miller, that was kind of meh.
And then it sounds like the stuff against him is bullshit.
Yes.
All that stuff with Ryan Reynolds, like, he kind of threw him under the bus.
He did. And
The more that
I'm not
comes
saying
out,
he was a
seems like
nice guy behind the scenes, but he was funny as fuck in Silicon Valley, dude. God damn.
I mean, you know what? He was probably a dick. He was probably like
Yep.
that character.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man.
Yeah. Where are my shoes for 10 British pounds? Proper money. Thank you very much. Never mind this summer. Next year is meant to be the big one. Doomsday, The Odyssey, The Mandalorian film, Moas, Toy Story 5, He-Man, and 2 different Spider-Man films. Yeah, they basically survived till 25 is now like maybe it'll get fixed in 26. Or I like Aaron Sparrow's. If you don't come to the theater, we'll suck your dicks in 26. And then it'll turn into Please God in Heaven. Hopefully our customers will be back in 27.
Oh
I
my
think
God,
the habit's been broken. So what you're going to have there, even with what you mentioned, is 5 or 6 big films. That's probably what's going to happen every year. 2019, there were $9 billion films, and most of them were Disney, by the way. But aside from those $1 billion films, there was a lot of $700 million films, $500 million films that were made for $100 million. So there were mid-level films, and there was consistency at the box office, not just these big peaks and valleys. It has been a fucking, if it wasn't for Minecraft, bro, and just domestically, Sinners, dude, this would be the worst era of the box, like including COVID. It would be terrible. Yeah. And I don't understand, Chris, why they just crowded July.
Yeah,
I don't get it.
They could have spread that out during the summer to let them breathe. I mean, they're on top of each other.
Yeah, and June's a good summer month. Movies make a lot of money in June, like a lot. Yeah. So I don't, and it's August where you start getting into territory where kids are going back to school, you know. So yeah, everything depends on July, and I think Jurassic Park wipes the floor with everybody.
Yeah, I think Jurassic will win.
Jurassic, whatever that last trailer was actually pretty good. It's right. It's going to be a shit movie, okay, but like the trailer was pretty good. Red X for $5 is, if Disney was smart, which they're not, should they do a remake of Treasure Planet? Otherwise, they need to bring back some of the scrapped ideas. Hail, I'm in Schlurpo debt. Schlurpo debt. You don't want to be in debt to Schlurpo. It's not a good idea. I don't think, I mean, they probably will. I think they're going to make a live action Frozen. I think that's,
yes.
I think that's that's a no-brainer. It's an absolute no-brainer that they do a live action Frozen. They'll come out with they got Frozen 3 coming out, and then they'll do a live action one after that.
But I really think the success of Lilo and Stitch and the directly contrasted with the failure of Snow White, one chose one direction, modern, girl boss, breaking tradition with the original, failure. This version, Lilo and Stitch, faithful, they did make changes, but very few changes. They didn't add modernity or modern messaging. It just kept it pure and in the spirit of the original, and it will be a huge success, one of the biggest of the year. You contrast those two, the direction is clear. Disney, just do Frozen with humans, like with people. Do it live action, do it faithful. Don't lean in, make it full lesbian, which there's lesbian undertones to the cartoon. So
yeah. How to Train Your Dragon comes out in June, right? So that'll
Alan's seen it.
And what did he think?
It's
broad strokes.
It is directly that original. They made almost no changes to the original cartoon.
Did he like it?
He did. He loved it. Thought it was great. But he said there's almost no point to it because they just did the live action of the cartoon was the template. He said parts are like shot for shot. So,
well, I mean,
it's
when choosing between Lilo and Stitch and How to Train Your Dragon, I'll go to see How to Train Your Dragon. I'll probably go see that one. But
it's just, this is how lazy Hollywood
Yeah,
is now.
it-
Not just prequels, requels, reimaginings. It's now just redo something that we did, do it exactly like that.
This is the
And
equivalent
it's
of
lazy.
it's what music has turned into. Now we just, this is the, like, listen, I went to this show and I loved it. So I'm not, no disrespect, but this is the equivalent of the Scorpions residence in Las Vegas. You got the 70-year-old Scorpions rocking it out to a packed house, by the way, and doing a good job. But like, does it push the music industry forward at all? No, it does not. That's, you know, that's where we're at.
That's a great analogy, Gary, because any show that goes to Vegas, it's kind of like that's when your career is over.
You're just retiring,
you retire, you do your show 4 days a week or whatever, and you find you live in Vegas, which is miserable. And then that's it. But that's what Hollywood has become. Hollywood is like basically a bad cover band of its old hits.
Yep.
Now.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Where it might be like it's a bad cover band that might have one guy from the original band or at least a second bass replacement in it.
Right.
And they're doing covers. That's what Hollywood is doing. Random commenter, 2 parts for $15 total. This is just the first time she had him on video. You need to watch her live episodes dated February 24th, February 27th, March 3rd, March 4th, and March 10th. Rogan has commented on those. Okay, there you go. That explains that. These are must-watch episodes in order. Well, I will do that today. I will do my due diligence. Yep. Random commenter, but thank you. Thank you for pointing that out. Hey, X-Ray Girl, look at the super chat before that. I give you real dates, and he did that. Thank you very much, random commenter. We appreciate you. The chat's always coming in for the rescue. Yeah, I don't watch a lot of Candace, so kind of flew past my radar. My bad. Snacks for $5. Just finished DD2. Can you give me a Defender summary? Oh, Daredevil Season 2. Before I start Daredevil Season 3, summaries online are all over the place. Thanks. Oh, God. You want a quick one? The Defenders team up to fight a grandma who supposedly is one of the founders of the Hand who can defeat Elektra. Then if Elektra defeats her for Black Sky and a giant dragon, and then it ends. It's terrible. Sigourney Weaver was just bad in it. And like, it's been a minute since I watched it and I'll never watch it again. There's some good like moments in it, but yeah. I would just jump to Daredevil Season 3 and then stop. Rated M for $1.99. Corn Sweat's YouTube looks cringy and produced. Seen it? No, I have not seen it. Jediah Ben for $1.99. The newest Superman comic has gun on the cover. Yes, he did
really
put himself on the cover, a variant cover of a Superman comic. Yeah, I don't know why he would even approve that. I would be so. Can you imagine Christopher fucking Nolan animating himself into intros or putting himself on the cover of a?
Oh man.
Yeah, I don't even think Spielberg would do that. Odinson 99M for $10. What y'all are saying about movie posters applies to comic covers too. You're absolutely 100% correct. The art of the comic cover is lost. It is absolutely lost. 100% correct. Comic covers would generally give you an idea. They're a little bit clickbait. Listen, Chris Gore back in the 60s and 70s and 80s, comic book covers were clickbait. They were absolutely like, death in this issue. Spider-Man is going to die. And like, but damn, they were good. They were good. There it is. Chris looked it up.
God, that looks awful, dude. It looks like it's drawn terrible. It's even got his computer with all the stickers on it.
These aren't even covers. Yeah, they're like character pieces, practically turnarounds. Probably, I'm going to say, a little help from a photo that was done just in like this was electronically drawn, no background.
That's great tracing. I love the tracing.
Tracing. You'll just come out and say, and then a fucking yellow background. Yeah, that's horrific.
That's
But that's
fucking
comic
awful.
book covers now. That's comic book covers. You're like Odinson, you're so right. Go look at I'm sorry, I'm looking at my comic rack that you can't see. I got a nice rack. And I'm staring at Nick Fury's Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. done by Steranko, #1. The Man Thing, #1. And I think that's Plug. And then I've got The Amazing Spider-Man. It's a book on record, Peter Pan. But that's what I'm staring at. Infinity Gauntlet. I could see the Infinity Gauntlet, the full series. That's what I'm staring at right now. Fucking Steranko, dude. You want to talk about great fucking covers for comics. Steranko didn't do a lot, but when he did it, he was the fucking best. And he's based as fuck. Random commenter for $9.99. I promise I'm not a Candace shill. LOL. It's all good. It's okay. You can like whoever you like. It's all right. But in her Blake Justin series, she does a lot about Ryan Reynolds. Wild stuff. She reads a letter from his childhood acting coach. It's bananas. I'll check it out. I'm like, I'll check in on the Blake Justin stuff once in a while. I can't say I get excited about that. Many people equate it to, Johnny Depp, Amber Heard 2.0. I would say it's a very light 2.0. Aaron Chairman for 10 British pounds. Gary, did you see they're releasing a revised and expanded edition of the Hobbit graphic novel by David Wenzel in September? No way. No way. I'm actually pretty excited for it. So they're redoing Chuck Dixon. Chuck Dixon's The Hobbit. I have that. Oh, hang on. What you doing? Chris, cover me for a sec.
Okay. Chuck Dixon. Let me just say this cover is awful. That Superman cover. Okay. I started buying comics in the 70s. And like Gary was on Real BBC yesterday showing some covers. They were just, it was all about capturing. And this is how this is lazy. Quick critique of this. What you want to do, this applies to sports photography and comic covers. You are capturing an action as it happens, right? So great sports photography is a guy, going headfirst into first base. The dirt clumps are like captured.
Flying at the camera. Yeah.
Flying at the camera. Like that's great sports photography. And a great comic cover is, that's why you see like when a movie gets it right, it's trying to capture those poses where it's an action in mid happening. This is two guys standing like a headshot. It's boring. That's my critique. Is you want an action that like is a fraction of a second, but it's captured for that moment. And the best comic art does that. It's an action frozen in that moment. And this is just lazy nothing. And it's like they don't teach this stuff. I know this stuff. Like, look, I cannot draw. I'm not the best photographer, but I know the concepts behind what makes good photography and art, so I can art direct. Like when I was doing Film Threat as a print magazine in the 80s and 90s, I knew those concepts. I knew how to photo edit. I knew what was like would make a good cover. It wasn't just heads, which I would try to avoid, but like I always try to get that thing of second read. What does it look like? What does it say? There is nothing second read about this.
Okay.
Maybe the stickers on his computer, but that is lazy as shit. That's awesome.
We used to be a proper country. Okay. This is from the 60s. This is Jim Steranko. That Hobbit he was talking about, yes, it was written by Chuck Dixon, adapted by Chuck Dixon and Wenzel. So this is part 1 of 3. So they're going to do an expanded version. The story behind how they were able to publish, because there is no comic version and there will be no comic version of Lord of the Rings. This one was a mistake. Somebody, Chuck Dixon told the story and he could tell it far more accurately, but whoever had the rights basically said, we're going to adapt this. And we found it in a pile. We're going to adapt this. And went to the Saul Zaentz company and go, we can either do it right or we can do it our way, but we have a right to make this and we'd like to do it right. So they did it right. And Chuck Dixon created a fucking fantastic adaptation. And the fact that they're re-releasing it as an expanded version, go out and buy it. That's all I'm going to say. This is dumb. But that, like, we showed the Ironheart cover. This is the way covers have been for a while now. And it's, yeah.
By the way, this is right in line with how bad the marketing for Superman has been.
I mean, there's still Alex Ross. I know. Alex Ross should be painting a cover, not with James Gunn on it. Have Alex Ross do a cover for you. He's still got it. He's still a legend out there. Philip Butler. The reason linear TV is failing is pricing and marketing. Streams should not have original content. Cable, fiber optics, and satellite overpriced bundles. Yeah, I don't know how they figure it out. They're going to have to bundle. It's going to get reduced, and the studios are going to have to go back to just being the arms dealers. They produce the work, and then it gets licensed out. Like getting rid of the license, probably not a good idea. I'm sure there was certain stuff you wanted to have exclusive on your streaming service, but I think what studios greatly underestimated is how much it costs to run a streaming service. These are I think they thought it was cheaper, and Robert Meyer Burnett has brought it up. Chris, you brought it up. Hollywood was enticed by the idea of a consistent stream of revenue. That is something studios have not had, like ever. Each movie, each TV show is a crapshoot. And you have subscribers paying a certain amount of months. So you have a consistent stream of revenue. So I'm sure they were enticed by that. But very early on, they should have realized that this isn't working. They pretty much placed all their hopes on hope. And hope is not a strategy. When everybody was locked down and they all of a sudden just got their streaming services out right around the same time. Real coincidence, by the way. Sure, it's a total coincidence. Yeah, things were probably pretty good because it was a boom market and everybody was trying it. But then people got smart and go, well, fuck, this is more expensive than cable. And now people are going a la carte. And I think that's kind of the future. That's what I do. I do an a la carte thing for the most part. Like I'll rent a movie, I'll rent a TV show. That's what I try to do. And this is my fucking job. So to watch all this shit.
Yeah, I just sort of bounce between, like, my cousin shares her Paramount Plus account with me, but then I give her access to my, like, it's weird. I bounce around and, like, it's too complicated. It's too complicated for me, and I'm in this industry, but like this is why TV is, they're just cutting up the pie into smaller and smaller slices. They had a system that worked, and Netflix broke it, and everyone tried to catch up to be Netflix, and you can't.
You can't. William Sims for $5. My family is coming to San Antonio next week. What is a good comic store in town? Heroes and Fantasies. Good place. Random commenter. Cool. Dude, I'm 50. I hunt and fish. My favorite show is also Mobland, and somehow my girlfriend got me hooked on the damn Candace episodes. That's cool. I had never watched her. That's cool. I've seen her in other stuff, but yeah, I'm in the nerd sphere, so I will dip in on like Chris. We'll keep an eye on politics to know what's going on in the world, but mainly I'm fucking just going over. I'm in our sphere, watching people in our sphere mostly. I don't or lore videos. I listen to a lot of fucking lore videos and Y-Files. That's my kind of casual listening, or Randall Carlson or something like that. A lot of Y-Files too. Fun fact about Pedro Pascal: his family is communist royalty from Chile. Yes, that is and they were ran out because they were commies. Before Pinochet gave them Pinochet gave them helicopter rides. Balmaceda family. Says Iron Blimp for $5. Yes, they fled a dictator because they were communists. They came to America, of all places. Rusty Shackelford for $5. Troy Duffy was right. Gangs of London is a solid modern mob take. Modern Game of Thrones-esque with multiple factions. I need to watch that. Hail Troy Duffy, by the way. Snacks for $2. Matt Walsh. What is a woman? FNT. What is a sandwich? Dude, we really that would be... If we had extra time, Chris Gore, We should do a documentary called "What Is a Sandwich?"
I love sandwiches.
About
So
primitive
let's say sandwiches.
We'll make it an
Primitive
allegory
misogyny.
of primitive misogyny. What is a sandwich? Or Van Eagle TV for $4.99. And sometimes Hollywood has people with both at the same time. ADL 1992 $4.99. Shakespeare in Love is decent, but no best film of the year. I hated it, but yeah, it wasn't best picture. Chris B for $5. My take: Harvey's as sleazy as 95% of the rest of Hollywood. His Me Tooing was a power play, and they want you to focus on him and not the rest of them. Yes, that's a lot of, like, listen. Like the women, the men in women's sports issue, I think is important. I think it's dangerous for women. I don't think dudes should be competing against women. But a lot of politicians champion that, so you're not looking. So you take your eye off the ball on taxes and other shit too. You have to pay attention to a lot. And certain things will get brought to the forefront, and in hopes that you will take your eye off the ball on this other thing we're doing in the background. It's like, yeah, no men and women's sport. We're all for it. Yeah, fucking right. Go fight that one. But what was in that bill again that you snuck through? Huh? That's the kind of shit that they play. Japanese Demon Lord of Beer Lucifer for $5. If Harvey is found innocent in the second trial and gets out, his revenge on Hollywood will be so epic. But he would have to flip the other one too. The Los Angeles prosecution. And maybe he is. I don't know. Operation Outstanding Infield for $4.99. Do some of the worst people in real life make some of the better films? Weinstein, Singer, Ratner, and more. I mean, I think you have to be. This is why Hollywood respects dictators so much. Is you have to be a dictator as a director a bit, right? So, like, Kubrick was famously an asshole, but I don't have a problem with that. I think high functioning artists. I think when you are a top tier creative person, not every case, but a lot of cases, that gets balanced out with horrible behavior or there's something fucking wrong with you. I think genius artists, I won't even say wrong. It might even put you on the spectrum somewhere. I think there's a lot to be said about that. And behaviorally, they've always been terrible in Hollywood. Like that's does it make it okay? No, but you have to know the difference between accusations of rape to he yelled at me. All right. And people fucking yell at you. And we, raging and throwing shit around, but just getting yelled at. We've all been fucking yelled at. And you know what? It might have helped us sometimes. Might have woken us up. We might have been pissed at the time and we wanted to fucking beat the shit out of that person when we got home, or your boss. But then you thought about it and you're like, why am I so pissed? It's because he's fucking right. Or she's fucking right. Whatever. There's that too. All the conflation that they were talking about. Yeah. But as far as do they make better films? I think, I know Sam Raimi's a nice guy and he got burned a couple of times from Sony and Marvel, but I think he mostly makes good films. I can't say every director's a dick. I have no idea. Taylor Sheridan, big movie producer right now, Chris. He's famously like hard-nosed.
Well, Michael Bay always had a reputation of being kind of an asshole. By the way, yesterday was the first day of filming on Skibbity Toilet, directed by Michael Bay.
Oh.
It started shooting. But famously, and I've heard this from friends in the industry, they say when you're the director, you kind of have to pick your times to be an asshole. And one thing that is consistent, it's a weird anecdote. The first week of shooting, the director will publicly fire someone for doing a shitty job to keep people on their toes.
To set the tone.
Set the tone. You don't fuck with, and mainly it's about making your day. You make your day. You have 10 shots, 2 scenes, 3 scenes. You make your day. Anyone that gets in the middle of that, fired publicly. It keeps people, gets people to, be at their best behavior. And that's something I've heard many times from different people.
I think it's a rare thing to find a 5-tool player, somebody who's good with the actors, a savvy business person, and a highly creative. I think what I was looking for, there's a thin line between genius and madness.
Yeah.
I think there's a thin line between that. But that's why, Stanley Kubrick didn't make a bunch of movies, but when he did, he put his creative all into all of them. And then there's Alfred Hitchcock, who was just fucking amazing and charming, probably strict on the set. I can't say I know anything, but I haven't really looked. But yeah, and then there's Steven Spielberg. How do you feel about Spielberg? Nobody's ever said like he's an asshole on the set. Actors pretty much like him. He's a very savvy business person, and done pretty well for himself. Completely sold out, but that's how it goes in Hollywood. G-Man for $5. All of a sudden, Candace is defending the Jews now. Weird.
Yeah.
That was a good one, G-Man.
So I predicted this years ago, Gary, that this would happen. Just throw it up there if you would, X-Ray Girl. Quick story.
Oh my
it's
God.
all over.
Yes,
Michael
you were.
Bay plunges the depths of one of the internet's most bizarre sensations as production on the Skibbity Toilet movie begins. This is yesterday. It's all over in different sources.
Well, you said when Minecraft hit, you're like, dude, they need to do a Skibbity Toilet movie like yesterday. They need to do this. And they did it. Oh, yeah. They saw dollar signs and they got Michael effing Bay.
You probably don't notice it. There is every convention I've been to recently, there is cosplay of Skibbity Toilet.
I can't say I've ever seen a video. Maybe I'll watch one.
If you watch it, it's kind of mesmerizing, kind of weird.
I wish him luck.
It's the same tone of, you ever watch like late night Adult Swim stuff?
Yes.
It's kind of weird.
That's what I imagined it was. Yeah.
That's what it's like.
Yeah.
It's
and I like
so
that
weird.
stuff.
You can't believe you're seeing it. Like Too
Metalocalypse.
Many Cooks.
Yeah,
Remember watching that movie, Too Many Cooks, or that
Yes.
short film? Yeah. Anyways.
War Van Eagle TV for $4.99. After hearing Harvey say he's telling the truth, cue Bill S. Preston Esquire. I totally believe you, dude. ADL 1992 $4.99. Balance isn't sexy, but can we not seesaw between demonizing and martyrdom? Yeah, like there's no way. It would take a lot to convince me Harvey Weinstein is some kind of fucking martyr.
Yeah,
that would take
not.
a lot of convincing. A lot more than I've seen now. Yeah. Chris B for $5. Candace has some big takes, and I don't always agree, but I give her credit for talking of things that should be discussed, like the USS Liberty topic. The USS Liberty. Rye the Guy for $5. Did Harvey ever buy her cat candles?
Her vagina.
Her vagina. Wait, we have a clip for that.
Vagina.
Her
vagina.
Candles. There you go.
Vagina.
Tom Jones for $2. Thank you for the donation. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Doesn't say anything. Laird Poland for £5 British pounds, proper money. Aaron Taylor Johnson must be the only actor to play 3 comic book characters beginning with the letter K. Kick-Ass, Craven, and Quicksilver. I see what you're doing there. But he didn't put a K in front of Craven.
I know, that was very strange.
Because he spelled Quicksilver Kwick. There you go. A for effort. Harry Brownhole for 2 Canadian pesos. Harvey makes your film burger a duty-filled thing. Hi King Feanor. Alpha Chad, a Middle Earth for $5. Okay, I need the title of this stream explained right now. Eightfold Telepath on the Streamlabs side for $10. Hey, do you know if you close your eyes while listening to Edward Norton in American History X, he sounds like a based Destiny. If you close your eyes. If I remembered, if I roll up one evening, it's like, man, hey, honey, let's watch American History X again for some light viewing. I'm not going to be firing that up.
Hell no.
But I am back to rewatching the X-Files, at least for a couple days. And God, it's good. Pedro Pascal seems like a man that enjoys rectal exams. You could have spelled rectal. I don't think they would get mad at rectal. By men who are not doctors. Hi, King Feanor, Alpha Chat, a Middle Earth for $5. Listening while I drive 90 miles to Wyoming. Cheers, guys. Oh,
safe travels.
Wow, safe travels to Wyoming. Realistic delinquent for $2.79. Primitive misogyny is a euphemism for Islam. There you go. There you go. And that's probably what it was. That's what he's saying. That's probably the context of it. There you go. Kate C, a.k.a. Snake Plush Kitten for $2. Mel Brooks, Prisoners of Love. Nakmamon, reviews and rants for $5. I don't know what primitive misogyny is. All I know is it sounds like a lot of fun. I think I'll start doing that from now on. Eric K, who is ready for Elliot Page as Hercules? Not me. Daniela, thank you for the $4.49 donation. Didn't say anything, but thank you. Rudy for $5. Hollywood is dying. The smell of night blooming jasmine has been replaced with rot that they don't know how to bring back. Rudy's been to Hollywood, Chris, because if you walk around Hollywood, he's muted. If you walk around Hollywood and the Beverly Hills area at night, you smell the night blooming jasmine. It's all over the place. Right, Chris?
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that? You live there.
Night
blooming jasmine, you can smell it. In La Jolla. If you're ever in La Jolla, California, you can smell it down there too. But now it's gone. Fuzzy for $5. Hollywood dying is given streaming is the next to go. ADs and poor content are killing it. I now hear regular people going, "Yar, buy pre-2020 Blu-rays or 4Ks if you can." But I'm happy to hear that I bought the physical collection of South Park because when it goes, they're getting now. There's a couple episodes you just can't get, the Muhammad episodes, but you can get them if you look on the internet. But everything else is in that release, and I guess it's going to be missing 14 episodes. And as was mentioned yesterday, now you know the top 14 South Park episodes.
Yeah, the top 14. Yeah,
and I bought all the specials too. They're just on Blu-ray, but Into the Pandaverse and the Ozempic one and the Streaming Wars. Got to pee. Oh, it's so good. Enoch Maman, reviews and rants for $5. I'm going to come out and I can just end it right there, Enoch Maman. I'm going to come out.
Where's that music cue?
I don't know. Oh, wait. And say it. If a professor wants to rewrite Shakespeare with a female lens, said professor deserves a meeting with a wood chipper. That's extreme. But I think the fact that that's probably at a school that our tax money is paying that professor is infuriating. Minister of Hygiene for $5. Roger Corman did it right. Prioritize music and poster. Yes. Thumbs up 1981. I mean, like, story kind of helps too, but you know how it goes. Thumbs up 1981 for $4.99. To me, covers were a trailer for the issue. Now they are literally pinups, or Gary says baseball cards. Yep. Now they just do all the homage covers. Bah. Yeah, even the good covers, you're just buying it for the cover. You're not buying it to read a story. The word
Yeah.
dynamic is lost in comic books.
Dynamism. It's important.
Yes. Yay, the vinyl solution for $1.99. It's almost as if James Gunn has a massive ego. Weird. Thinking Heretic for $5. James Gunn on the cover. Alfred Hitchcock likeness was in the movies and Stan Lee in his movies. Is James Gunn Alfred Hitchcock or Stan Lee?
What is he doing?
I don't know what he's doing. He's he's taking his
He's doing ASL.
So, you know what? I would say earn it first. Earn it, baby. Earn it. But I would also like the Alfred Hitchcock silhouette is iconic because he could back it up. Now, maybe James Gunn could back it up. I don't think he's there yet. Okay. What is James Gunn has directed a great Guardians of the Galaxy movie, and the quality has dipped in the next three. He did the Suicide Squad, which I liked. He did The Peacemaker, which I did not like. He did Creature Commandos, which I did not like. He's done some okay stuff before that. I mean, okay. He ain't no Hitchcock or Stan Lee. But maybe he'll get there someday. We'll see. I get all my news from Cecil's Coat Files from Born for $1.99. It's good. It's a better source than CNN for sure. Ordinary Adonis, 87 for $4.99. My sergeant used to say, hope is the most deadly thing for a soldier. Seems to apply to Hollywood. Yep. Hope is not a strategy. B Buster for $5 says, I have nothing of interest to add. So I said, hello. Hello to you. Hello to you. Hang on. We got to get, Hail, Chris. I heard Captain Gantu isn't in the LA Lilo and Stitch. Does that ruin the third act? Would you guys go to the PHX Fan Fusion? Phoenix Fan Fusion. Thanks and hail. Muted, Chris.
I've been to Phoenix Comic-Con. Something's wrong with my audio now.
No, you're
It'll
fine.
level out. It'll
Fine.
level out.
Okay. Yeah. Anyways, been to Phoenix Comic-Con. Yeah. The Gantu thing, they're trying to streamline the movie, and they did it. They made weird decisions. I'm not the biggest fan. It didn't ruin it for me. It doesn't ruin it for me.
Okay.
It's stuck to the heart of the story. I think it's going to be huge, and people will have nitpicks, a lot of them, and that's one.
Grand Wazoo 42 has been a member for 51 months. Hail. Ian Corellis says, take a shot every time Chris says like.
Like.
There you go. Like. Say like 10 times fast.
Take a shot. Like.
Say like. Make everybody, don't drink and drive. Don't drink at work.
Don't drink and stream.
You do that all the time.
Valet Control, thank you for being a member. Blood Viper for £5 Gary, will I be able to get a signed hardback of your book in the UK? Hail the Fellowship. Yes, that should be possible. Actually, I have to sign a thing that will get everything going. Well, I can just say it. I have to sign it. Yes, I'm going to auto pen my contract. So I have to sign a contract that gets everything going today, right after the show. But yes, I'm going to say yes. Incognitus Jones says, when your book comes out, will you go on Normal World? Yes, I probably will. It's up to Garrett. If he'll have me on. I am going to a podcast. I can't say just yet. 2 weeks, X-Ray Girl?
Mm-hmm.
2 weeks.
It's very exciting, actually.
Yeah.
Does it rhyme with Schmo Bogan?
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. But we may have some friends of ours showing up on Schmo Brogan's podcast.
Friends? Like who?
Well, I can't say.
Drinker.
No. Well, Drinker should go on Joe Rogan for sure. But it's not Joe Rogan. But it's not Drinker. But it's you'll see when they pop up. You'll see. Couple of buds. Very excited for them. Eric K. Harvey may be a scumbag, but I know for a fact some of those actresses went willingly and broke up relationships because when Harvey called, they went. 100%. And it's sifting through all that and then sifting. It's getting to the truth. And I think neither side wants to get to the actual truth. Does that make sense? I think there's a truth there. There's a truth there. And maybe Harvey crossed some lines. But I think they want to fight this tooth and nail because, honestly, if some get exposed for liars, it would be very difficult for Harvey to even sue him at this point. So they'll just fucking get away with it. Like they do. Like the liars and false accusers do. They get away with it. And what? A couple of times we've seen a sentence of a woman who a guy got locked up for years under a false accusation. She gets fucking 6 months. It's disgusting. It's fucking disgusting. And then she comes out, I'm so sorry. Oh, fuck you. How do you give back somebody like 9 years of their life or even a year? How do you fucking do that? Thinking Heretic for $5. Do you think James Gunn fancies himself an Alfred Hitchcock or Stan Lee? Maybe. I think that it's gone to his head, and I'll defend him a little bit. Can you blame him? A giant movie studio handed him the keys to the castle and said, and he did guide Marvel in Phase 3. Like he was one of the creative minds who helped guided it. So we can't dismiss that. But I would just, I don't know, let your work speak for yourself. That would just be me. But man, he best hit it out of the park. He best hit it out of the park. And if he does, okay, you back your shit up. Respect. If you don't, then be prepared for what you get on the internet because the James Gunn meme ain't going away.
Yeah.
And it's a meme at this point. Yeah. Is it Wayne-O-Rama? Wayne-O-Rama. Yeah. Welcome to the radicalized level. We're going to watch Mobland on Sunday and Clarkson's Farm on Friday. The Grizzly. Hollywood cannot and will not be saved. I agree. Contemporary misogyny for the win, says our Rob Ross. Yes. Contemporary misogyny. Hey, Gary, any plans to write anything for the Rippaverse? Daniel Rude, if asked, yes. We'll have to see. Looking forward to the Phoenician scheme this week. Oh yeah,
I'm seeing that movie tonight. It opens next week in limited release. I don't know. It's Wes Anderson. He's an acquired taste.
I like a lot of his stuff. I do.
I like
not everything.
Steve Zissou, Life Aquatic. That one was great with Bill Murray. That one's good. I like that one. But he's hit and miss. So
yeah,
you know.
Smooth the DJ says 40 months. I got not much to say, but thank you, Gary. Love you, brother. Look in. Yay. Lock it in. Yay. God, I'm losing it. I need to eat
my
lunch.
Gosh.
Lock it in. Yay, Smooth. Love you, man. I am retarded. I'm the retard here. Nerdtardo. Andy makes Star Wars. Says Manchester United to win the European League final.
That's cool.
Are they better than Crystal Palace? Are they a better soccer team than Crystal Palace? They're probably not even in the same league. Euros are probably laughing at me right now.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. But I don't know. I like the FIFA video game.
There you go. There you go. I played soccer as a youth. I played youth soccer like every year up until I was like 10 or 11.
And I never did. My kids did though.
That was the first like team sport I played was soccer, and then it was baseball.
Yeah.
And I didn't need T-ball. I went right to Little League, and because I was already, my dad, I had a baseball field across the street from my house. So we just played all the fucking time when we went outside. Back in the days when we went outside.
That's right.
And played tackle football. And I completely shattered an ankle doing that.
Oh, I heard the story of that, Gary. It's gruesome.
It's gruesome, dude.
Yeah.
It's fucking gruesome. All right. That's going to wrap it up for today. Chris, what do you got coming up?
Hollywood on the Rocks with my colleague, Alan Ing, colleague and friend. You know, we were hanging out last night. And we'll talk about Lilo and Stitch. And we have lots of movie news that will shock you. It's a slow news day. We dug up the weirdest stories surrounding Hollywood. So there you go.
There's actually a lot of Hollywood news that's been building up. And
you have no idea. It's the dumbest stuff. So
I like dumb stuff.
Yeah.
But there's been a lot from Cannes that's kind of flown under the radar. Some has not, but there's been a lot. And it's like they're freaking out. They're freaking out.
Yeah, it's not worth going. CinemaCon is worth going, but Cannes is just, it's its own thing.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff happens.
X-Ray Girl, what do you got coming up?
Poor choices tonight at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, and another super chat just came in. Krog based for 50 Swedish krona says,
Hey,
just
thanks.
$5. Parliament set, thought plastic trash $10 has metal. I don't collect, just wanted some trashy dollars. 10 out of 10, blown away.
Really? What was it? The X-Ray Girl?
Oh, the Dalek?
Yeah.
The Dalek Parliament set.
Parliament set. Okay. The Dalek Parliament set. Oh, shit. I got to look this up. Well, I'll look it up later. Along with my F1 tickets. I don't think they're doing an early screening here, or would have popped up.
Of F1?
Of F1.
Go to the IMAX website.
I did.
It's
And nothing
cool.
came up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they're not.
Maybe they're not. Oh,
And then I did miss this one super chat. I am flag for $10 says, what if the next game stream was getting AI Vader to say Miles Morales is Miles Morales? Just an idea.
Ooh. Miles Morales is Miles. I can't do Darth Vader. So
Pretty deep.
there you go. All right. I got to run.
Oh, there it is. Okay. Hey, you got to run. Thanks. You didn't have to stay this long. Thanks for staying this long.
Yeah. But I was having fun. So
we're having fun. That's the most important part. But dude, anytime you need to go, you just say,
all right.
Go.
Yeah.
All right. We got to go. So I'll be back on Friday. And thanks to the Nerdrotics. Thanks to everyone who left a super chat donation. Thanks to everyone who participated. Thanks to everyone who supports the channel. We love you guys. See you next Wednesday.
Later.